Lads, today is August 19 and the current time is 1917. The fire emblem is not to be trifled with. Please note that comrades interacting with the fire emblem need certain grades of clearance, and if you don't know if you have said clearance, you do not have said clearance. That concludes today's announcements.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
Hey. Oh shoot, I'm not. Am I muted? No, I'm not. Oh my goodness, I did this correctly. Okay. I truly am one of the gamers of all time doing gaming things and doing it somewhat correctly for once. Absolutely insane concept, I know. Hello there everyone, how are all of you doing? Hello Xanth and Annette Bestet. Indeed. Hello Havel and Goldenrod and Dark Peak. Congrats to Xanth for being first. I'm not muted. I can see my volume meter thingy working, so you can definitely hear me, I think. We are finally finishing this PME, which has taken, I think, a little too long. I'm not even joking. We are on episode 12 of this adventure, and we are finally basically at the end of it. This has taken a little longer than I would have liked. And so at this point, I'm just kind of happy that we're finally finishing it. Don't get me wrong. I love Fire Emblem, and Fire Emblem is one of those games that I basically play on my portable devices whenever I can, because it's a franchise that's been with me since I was like 7, I think, or whenever it came to the US. I had a Game Boy Advance at the time, and before I was playing Fire Emblem, I was playing Shining Force on PC, so I'm not unfamiliar with the genre. So I'm just glad though that we are finally reaching the end of our wacky adventure in this ROM hack. Our very bastardized version of the ROM hack. So we're finally gonna do the finale, which is unironically called Our Ending, which is very on the nose about like, yes, this is your ending, our ending. Crazy. You got Shadow Dragon for Christmas and that was your first. Oh my gosh, Shadow Dragon. Oh my god, the thing is, like, Shadow Dragon is such a weird game, I think, to start with, because it has like a weird mix of modern Fire Emblem but also like the old wacky nonsense of the original Fire Emblem, because they were trying a little too much to be faithful to the OG, and I feel like they probably should have just tried to do a full remake and made it a lot more modernized, but you know, what are you gonna do? Every Fire Emblem's got its own like wacky quirks. Like the GBA games basically didn't have a skill system until 8, and even then it was bare bones, but 4 had a really good one. Thanks for the follow, Comrade Putin Vladimirovic. Hello Graven, how are you doing? So that's kind of my thing with Fire Emblem. Like, I love Fire Emblem, but boy, some of this stuff is just nonsense at some points. Hi, son, how are you? How have all of you been doing, though, on this fine day? Are you ready to finally see the ending of Fire Emblem? Kid, you once saw the cutscene artwork where Kira's actually... Okay. I mean, hey, look, I'm not here to question. I remember reading somewhere that depending on what type of content you were viewing as a child, that kind of helps determine what kind of things you're going to be interested in as you got older. Like kind of wires your brain into certain preferences, which I think is absolutely hilarious as a concept. How are you doing, Havel? I'm doing pretty good, all things considered. I went to see my doctor today, and I then went to a Texas Roadhouse to get lunch, and it was wonderful. Let me just say, Texas Roadhouse is probably one of my favorite places to get food. I love Texas Roadhouse. It is fantastic. I went and I got a delicious what did I get? I think it was like a 6-ounce sirloin with like the trimmings, and it was just chef's kiss. Wonderful stuff. You're aroused by square grids? Don't worry, square grids are amazing. You're getting slaughtered in the current Master Duel event? Oh my god. What's the Master Duel event? I'm actually kind of curious, because again, we were talking a little bit about Yu-Gi-Oh on Discord. I don't care for modern Yu-Gi-Oh. It's a little too much for me, and so I stopped caring. Oh, so there's like a bunch of like weird dialogue happening where apparently we're talking to our very sad self. We're getting told that we suck and that we should just commit not alive or something like that. But he's filled with self-doubt and all that. Oh, Ray's coming here with a story. I am wondering, can I eat the 72-ounce steak? I cannot eat a 72-ounce steak. I would not be able to eat a 72-ounce steak no matter what, basically. That is like 72 ounces is what? That's like 4 pounds of meat? Who in their right mind is gonna eat a 4-pound? I know that's 5 pounds actually. Who's gonna eat a 5-pound steak? For what reason would a BF tell you have to get their nails on right before a trip? Well, that's... I see. Well, I know where that's going, Ray. You don't have to explain it. We can talk about it later. I know what that means. You like Labyrinth because you adore your sad girl, failure, lesbian, demon, Ojo-sama. Hey, look, that's a character archetype for sure. It's a Legend Anthology event. Oh, is it like playing the older archetypes type of deal? You said you didn't know how to describe your feelings, the dread you felt, whatever. This plot is like, this plot is okay. It's very interesting. Like, I actually do like a lot of the backstory in this ROM hack. The character interactions between them is probably like, I think it's a bit of its weaker part, but it's fine. Obviously, the main issue that I always had was like Lear he's an okay protagonist, but boy, he is just the generic anime protagonist who does not have any self-confidence and uses the power of anime and friendship to win, which is funny, but it's maybe not my favorite way of approaching some Fire Emblem plot lines. Oh yeah, and Mao died too, which is also kind of tragic. So I'm glad we didn't make a character for Mao and he just kind of just came in and showed up and then died. Otherwise, it'd been really awkward if someone picked a character and then they wanted Mao and then Mao's just exploded. Oh, we lost Alana's character last stream, which is a little tragic. Probably better with a net. Where would you even insert a net into this? I mean, to be fair, we have like Brunya and a bunch of other characters in here, so at this point it doesn't really even matter anymore. There's like this entire ROM hack has just been bastardized, and if you want to play the actual story, please actually go play Sealed Hope. I think Sealed Hope is probably decently balanced, all things considered, just maybe not with how we've chosen to make adjustments to the game. So we're going to go attack Zwindehel, and we'll see how this pans out. So yeah, but anyways, it's gonna be an experience. I'm glad we've made it this far, at least into this ROM. So anyways, if we finish this early, which I fully expect we will consider doing some either what's the other options? We are gonna consider doing some what's the bloody word called? We'll consider doing some of the post-game chapters, or we're gonna finish up Iron Nest because there's like one mission left in Iron Nest, or we end early because I've had a headache for like 2 days. It's just been very mild, but it's like I'm pretty sure I know what's causing it. I just need a way to help mitigate it. It's just gonna take some time. I need to drink more water, I need more rest, and I haven't had a lot of proper sleep, and that's probably kind of what's causing a lot of it. Alright, I saw your question and I'm like, I already know where this is going. Like, I don't need an explanation. I know what's about to happen. Oh boy, this plot has been... I cannot even remember like who some of these characters replace. Like, I can't remember who's... I think this is Simon? I don't remember who this character replaced. It's been like... There's like so many different characters that we have. You feel old? What do you mean you feel old? You don't have a reason to be feeling that old. Do you? Is that what's happening now? Barely have any time left. Answer Lear needs. It's front of him. It's okay. The suggestion of Mao is out of the question. Gives out of being close to Mao. Very old, very ancient. It's okay. We're all ancient here. This channel is basically a gathering ground for like internet boomers at this point. I'm not even joking. This entire place is basically welcome to the internet boomer. What do you want to call it? Retirement home. And that's okay, because you know what? I willingly accept all the internet boomers, and we all enjoy relishing in each other's company. The MySpace retirement. Did you hear they're bringing back MySpace? I saw somewhere that Tom from MySpace or something is like planning on bringing back MySpace as like a brand new social media platform that doesn't have modern social media features. And I'm just like, I don't know what those words mean, but it's gonna be interesting to see how it pans out. Let me get this water. You've arrived, carrying the weapon that will be your demise. You'll make the mistake my species has made. You'll repeat the same error those of other lands have acted on. Human, no dragon will save you from fate itself. Ooh. Just looking at him, it makes me feel even worse. I said I'd stop him even to his sane side, and yet... No. I can't think like this. I have to focus. Think. Just look at the enemy. Wait, the enemies. Yeah, there's enemies. It's not just enemy, it's enemies. Look at all those bad guys we have to go smack down. Those enemies, they feel important. Okay, so we're getting told, yeah, these are plot relevant. Okay. Something's different. I feel a connection to them, but a dreadful one is not good. Yeah, those are probably your parents. Alright. You weren't properly sending during MySpace time. I actually was. I remember exactly the nonsense I had going on my MySpace profile where I added like things that I liked, and then you learned how to, like, kids learned how to use HTML back in the day, just make their MySpace pages, you know, represent them. And I definitely remember some of the song choices that I had on my MySpace profile. Oh my god. Definitely you're older and you weren't allowed to have MySpace. Well, because your parents weren't cool enough to let you have MySpace, or they were trying to protect you from the internet. So that's on your parents for not letting you enjoy the unrestricted internet access, which is probably a good thing in the grand scheme of things. I'm prepared. I'll do my best. Have you found your answer, Lear? No, but for what I have now, it should be enough. My issues can be resolved after we win. For now, this is what matters. Okay. We're all behind you with the power of anime and friendship. Let's go defeat the bad guy. All right, welcome to the final map of this wacky-tacky ROM hack. So I'm told we have to defeat boss 1, the Shadow Domrak, featuring emotional essence and despair. Ooh. And then we need to go defeat the other one, the Shadow Zayara, radiates hopelessness. Radiance hopelessness? I think it's supposed to be radiates. Its literal weapon is called hopelessness, which is alright, I guess. Oh my gosh, look at those stats. See, like, I do hate this when it's like, oh, you can't crit this enemy, but like, critting is a valid strategy, but now I'm not allowed to do it. This is Winterhill, who's the main boss. Oh my god. What are those stats? This thing is actually just stat inflated to, oh my lord. Doubt, despair, hopelessness, dark essence. Okay, to be fair, it's similar to how we fought the crazy lady. As you defeat each of these side bosses, like Shadow of Ichi, you will eventually remove each of the stat bonuses that Winterhell's getting. So you have like hopelessness, right? And that's probably adding like plus 20 to each of his main stats. So if you get rid of them one by one, this will all go drop down to 0, and then you're just fighting a stat stick that has max stats and everything. So it's not the end of the world, it's just kind of annoying that this is how it has to be approached. So it is a fairly decent sized map, and we do have to rip through a lot of these enemies, and we'll just find a way to slowly get through that. But we'll be fine, I think. Alright, we got 17 people this time. We no longer have access to Analea, but we do have access to everyone else at the current point in time. So I think we'll just take everyone that's kind of already in the squad, because I think most everyone else, like a lot of these people are dead. Grace has kind of never had a chance. Umi unfortunately got kind of screwed by the how I set up the game. I'm very sorry about that. Sonic is a meme. Helena is also kind of a meme. Actually, Helena's actually kind of strong. Maybe we actually take her along, because having an Axe Zerker is not the worst thing. I'm more annoyed that we don't have another spare healer, but or at least Analea was a really good healer, but at least we have a lot of other spare healers that can hopefully do things, so it's not the end of the world. So I think this squad is generally fine. We probably need to just assign a bunch of the bond essences, and we'll make it work. Emmet-Jan unfortunately just kind of got completely screwed, and I am very sorry about that for Limeware, who is Emmet-Jan's creator. There was a lot of weird things that was going on, so I think I might actually have to bench the poor guy, because he just does no damage. This poor guy, unless I feed him a bunch of stat boosters, he's just completely useless. Especially with how much like the stat inflation in this ROM hack is, it's just nuts. I guess we'll keep Milky Blade, and I guess we could take Gina. Why does she? I forget why does she? I remember like this character's creator was like, what if we just had a character with humongous binger bongers, and it's just unnecessary, but we'll take Gina along. We will not take Yubel because Yubel is kind of a goober and he is overpowered, but I don't want to take him. So I think what our current squad is fine. We'll just kind of go through the items one by one. We'll just make sure everyone is set up and ready to go, right? I think that'll be fine. But anyways, what were we talking about before this? We're talking about MySpace. Yeah, supposedly MySpace is coming back in the near future with some kind of changes. I'm not sure. I don't think I'd use it myself personally because I don't really particularly care about using MySpace anymore. I think I'm kind of done with... I barely use social media for the most part. I think the only one I try to use occasionally is, you know, like Twitch or like Twitter, because as a VTuber, I'm kind of obligated to use it sometimes as much as I don't really want to. It is kind of required of me. The problem is I don't really use social media very well because I don't know how to really make tweets. I don't know what people like reading on the Twitter, so I just kind of say nonsense. Discord is not a social media platform. Discord is a chat platform. It's very different, is my opinion. Completely different platform use cases. I'm gonna feed Ivy another potato. We're just gonna use all the potatoes. We have a lot of them. We might as well start burning through these. Ivy gets one so that she doesn't explode as quickly. Actually, I'm gonna also buy a angelic robe. We're gonna give angelic robe to Ivy because she can probably use this. Okay, so at least she's very tanky. Let's see. Lucina's probably tanky enough, probably. I did see some of those tweets that you were posting about like hating on AI and everything, and like how Twitch is ruining everything because they're like, what if Twitch just let people use AI things all the time? It's like, well, that's just kind of... I do think it is a little ridiculous that they were just like, what if the reason why we had to make it opt out instead of opt in is because if we made it opt in, no one's gonna opt in. I'm like, well, yeah, obviously, because no one wants their content trained for, you know, used for training AI, right? Also, hello, Infidave, how are you? Do I just feed Lyra a potato? I think I'm gonna feed Lyra a potato. He is the anime protagonist. DC tried to make a designs for super... Wait, really? Is that actually true, or is that just what you heard on the rumor mill? Big difference. If that's actually true, that is actually kind of nuts. I think I'm gonna feed the potatoes to... maybe I do feed them to Lucina. Lucina probably could use a few more potatoes. That way Lucina has a little bit more use, or we could feed them to Samsung. I think we'll feed Samsung like one. I don't know what they're supposed to talk about. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. See, like, the thing is, I think a lot of creative companies, you know, companies that rely on creative work, are starting to realize that using AI in anything is kind of like a mark of shame, like a scarlet letter that people are not going to want to associate with your product anymore because of it. I've seen it's very common in the board gaming space right now too, where it's like if you do have AI, like if you use AI art, because in reality for the board gaming industry, one of the largest costs in board game design and development is the fact that board game art is very, very expensive, and no one really wants to pay for art, right? Because it's a high cost. So I think what a lot of these you know, board game developers are learning is that if you use AI art, people are incredibly not likely to want to engage with your product, which I think is actually appropriate. Yeah, using AI is not very good when it comes to art. Like, I will say, there is a need, I think, for AI when it comes to like algorithmic data, analysis and all that type of thing. I think that's a perfectly valid use case of it. Although you could probably just do the same thing with pivot tables and, you know, X and V lookups. But when it comes to generative stuff to like make artwork, that's kind of where my issue is. And I think the worst example, the iteration of this I hate the most is when people use, not just like when people use them for food pictures. Like, okay, so I've seen AI art in food truck stands to showcase their food, right? But it's like the worst, it's like the most disgusting thing ever, because they'll be like, oh, this is AI art, but it's like they couldn't even just take a photo of their food. They used AI to generate what the food is supposed to look like, but it doesn't look like it at all, and it just looks completely artificial and fake, and it's disgusting in every way whatsoever. But what do I know, apparently? Did we give Havel boots? We did. There has Ray's got boots. Simon got boots. I think I'll give the last pair of boots to... I think we'll give it to Z Opposer, actually. I think it's funnier. Yeah, we'll get the Z Opposer. Okay, so see, let me just make sure we have all of our core weapons. The only thing we never got, I think, was an S-rank sword, but otherwise we got, like, a lot of the high-end weapons otherwise. Yeah, we should be fine. Okay. If they can't be good reloaders, can't be escort them. It's funny story. Well, the thing is, like, a lot of this thing that's happening is like at anime, like conventions, right? Where you're kind of a captive audience and you don't exactly have a choice on where you can get food. You have to just kind of eat whatever's in front of you or whatever's available to you, which is just an unfortunate reality when it comes to this type of thing. Yeah, it's probably fine. Whatever. They're providing an AI agent at your work helpline. They think it'll help business by weeding out simpler issues. I mean, like, it's not the worst thing to do that type of thing if you're just trying to, I guess, reduce the amount of like overhead dealing with customer service. But at the same time, that's a very easy way to piss off your customers, because when people call a helpline, I guarantee you they are immediately angry if they have to talk to an AI agent instead of talking to an actual human. Talking to an actual human, I think, immediately de-escalates a lot of like the frustrations a consumer has dealing with the company at hand. But if you require them to go through an AI chatbot first, and that AI chatbot is slow, or they spend too much time, you know, processing, it's basically gonna piss off your customer even more, and by the time they get to an actual human, they're just annoyed and angry. I'm the same way. Like, unironically, I'm super annoyed whenever I have to talk to a AI chatbot, because a lot of times they either won't understand me, or they'll just, you know, try to give me the runaround and try to not get me to where I need to go. So the point where if I hear an AI chatbot, the first thing I just say is human, and I'll say human like 3 times in a row until it starts pushing me towards a human associate, because I don't want to deal with an AI. Give me a human, because this AI, I know this AI chatbot is not going to help me in my problem. So I am of the opinion that, yeah, it's going to drive people mad. Let me drink my water, yeah.
Humans have proved they cannot live no matter what is provided. To eliminate all errors, it is what fate leads us towards. You will learn this. You will see what all will lead to. I will erase any error, any light that burns bright within you.
Ooh, what an evil final speech. Alright, let's start ripping and tearing through the final set of enemies. Ooh, spooky. I think the story for this mod is fine. It's not the best, but I think it's totally acceptable for what what it's trying to be. This enemy stack is probably not that scary. I'm probably just gonna, like, for example, park Ivy here. Okay, there's like a journal, like lore journal here. I'm not gonna read that right now, but you can read it on your own time. And then we'll just kind of rip and tear through all these enemies, because there is a lot of them. Let's see. Dang, I was hoping for like some kind of effect trigger. But yeah, I think overall it's been like, I think I'm just happy that we're finally finishing up this run, because this run has gone on for far too long, quite frankly. And I'm just happy that, hey, we're reaching the end state. Dragons trying to guide the moral race about time and time again and see the stress in the world. Well, okay, so you have to remember, in Fire Emblem, dragons are, I wouldn't say inherently self-destructive, but dragons, unfortunately, begin to degrade after a certain amount of time, where they lose their sanity, and it's something that happens to all dragons no matter what. It's kind of like a huge plot point in Fire Emblem, and I think that's kind of what happened to Zwinderhell, where part of him is like a good guy, and the other half was like trying to not descend into madness, but now he's already descended into madness, and now Zwinderhell is, yeah, that's kind of what happened. The older a dragon gets, the higher the chance, like, the sooner they become, you know, insane. So, and usually the only way to mitigate the slow degradation of their sanity is to, unironically, lose their dragonity. And is that the right word? And more or less take on a human form for extended periods of time, and they maintain their dragonness inside of a dragonstone. So that's the lore for a lot of dragons in Fire Emblem. It's that they will go crazy over time, but the only way to mitigate or slow it down is to put away their draginity. No, not virginity, draginity. Their draconic magics is probably the more correct way to describe it. I do not have a dragon soul. Actually, no, my dragon soul is my Final Fantasy 14 character. I saw someone describing aura as pangolins the other day, and I was like, oh god, because technically, you know, reptiles are like cold-blooded, right? And so they're not lizards, but pangolins are warm-blooded, so they're technically pangolins, and I'm like, I don't want to think about that. Also, hello, Alana, how are you? I'm like, that's definitely a interpretation that definitely exists for some reason. Darcy, oh, I just realized this might be I might actually have put Lucina in a bad spot. Should be fine. Are they stupid? Why don't they just say human unless it should require a dragon then? No, so that's actually like so in Fire Emblem, that is actually like a big plot point. That is actually what they do. They actually do maintain human form 99% of the time if they're like a playable character, and they just only transform to the dragon with the dragon stone when the situation calls for their power. That's literally what happens in a lot of the Fire Emblem games. Because if they stay draconic long enough, then they will slowly succumb to madness. That's like the whole, like every single Fire Emblem more or less uses that as like a plot hook. Like in Fire Emblem, I think like it's a little weird, but yeah, like Fire Emblem 7 or Fire Emblem 8 does have that happen where you do run into an older dragon and a younger dragon. One is named Myrrh and the other one is named Moldova, I think is what his name was. And Moldova is like an older one, but they have to basically stay in hiding and avoid, you know, using any of their draconic powers as much as possible, because again, staying in dragon form makes them slowly lose their sanity. And I think I do think it's a really cool plot hook. Because I think a lot of times in games, like in a lot of fantasy settings, dragons just are perpetually just super smart and all that jazz. Your streak is ruined. How far was your streak, Zanko? Oh my goodness, Lucina's about to die. Okay, Lucina somehow survived. Barely. But yeah, there's also like a whole thing in like Fire Emblem where dragons typically have like a unique relationship with humans, and I think it's just like one of my favorite parts too. Like obviously, yeah, the dragons are old and wise and whatnot, and but they have like a very rough interaction with humans a lot of the time. 130 something. I'm sorry to hear that, Zanko. Oh my god, Greywind hit 90. Ooh, congratulations on 90. Why did the chat window above my head give you a VIP icon? That's weird. Okay, so you joke, but there is at least one recorded case of human dragon hybrid children. 3 cases. Actually, I think there's 4. 5 technically. Wait, actually, I think there might be more. Why? This is actually a lot more common than I'm thinking about it. Oh my god, is Lucina dead? I'm trying to think. So, the first one that comes to mind is Fire Emblem 7. So in Fire Emblem 7, it's a very tragic story, but in Fire Emblem 7, the main villain, the primary antagonist, actually, he's a human who went too deep into dark magic to rescue his dragon wife and his half-human, half-dragon kids. But he went too far deep into the dark magic that he forgot what he was studying dark magic for. And that's kind of like one of the biggest plot points, that dark magic is very dangerous to study. It's very often that you will lose yourself. That's kind of like the cost of studying dark magic. It's like you lose who you are. And so in this Fire Emblem game that I'm vaguely referencing 7, 2 of the characters that you do recruit into your party are actually half-dragon, half-human hybrids. But for the most part, they are dragons, but they don't have access to like their draconic powers, like transforming into dragons. because they don't have a Dragon Stone, because Dragon Stones are required to pull that type of shenanigans off. It's actually really rough. I need more people over here. Can Gina kill one of these? Gina might be able to if I have Gina fight this one. That might be fine. Yes, actually, it is what we call it. So it is actually a huge plot point where the dragons or going to dark magic is often like a road to great power, but you lose who you are. One example is in Fire Emblem 7 in the Ellie series. There is a character named the Bramimund who became a master of dark magic, but because he went so deep into dark magic, he began to lose who he was. And when I say he lost who he was, I mean this man straight up doesn't, like, if you talk to Bramimund, they are it's no longer a he or a she. It's kind of like an it. Because interacting with Bramimund is like interacting with yourself, because they'll take on like the persona of whoever's interacting with them because they don't have a sense of self anymore. And things like that is like I really enjoy in these stories. You owe so much child support. I mean, if you owe that much child support, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how child support operates in fantasy medieval settings, but you do you. You do you is all I'm gonna say. Okay, I'm not here to question your sanity here, or whatever you're trying to do. You do you, but you draw the line at. Is this a word I want to look up? I feel like I know. I should know what this is, but let me just double check. Oh, okay, yeah, got it. Yeah, got it. All right. It's okay, dude. Actually, I will say it is very funny how a lot of people do enjoy dragon character archetypes a lot. I mean, to be fair, I play a dragon character in Final Fantasy XIV, but it's a slightly different thing going on with that, and it's because Aura and 14 are just adorable and really cute, and I guess are kind of like the anime waifish characters. I like to think they're more dragons because dragon sounds cooler. And the guy who created the spell Ragnarok completely loses his mind. In which game? In Fire Emblem, the spell is Apocalypse. And that is Bramimund's unique spell that was like, the super mega doom dark magic spell. The dragons are literally aliens. Oh, I guess that's true. I forgot there's like a whole alien space plot line thing in 14. Please kill this. Ooh, actually, pop that one with one hit. That's what I like to see. I will say, 14 has some very, very funny dimorphism. If you don't know what dimorphism is, basically sexual dimorphism is like, hey, the male and females look really, like, it's basically the variance in how they appear how they appear, right? So, like humans have sexual dimorphism, but for the most part, it's generally relegated to males are typically taller, and they don't have breasts, and obviously, like, their lower half is completely different, but we're not gonna get into that. But then you look at Final Fantasy XIV races, and it's like, okay, the Lalafels are basically exactly the same in terms of body shape and everything. But then you look at Aura in 14 and Viera, and there is some extreme dimorphism there. Like you look at male and female humans, and they're generally, on average, they're at least fairly close in height, like with maybe like a 10-20% variance or something like that. But then you look at like Aura, and then I think like the shortest female Aura is like around 4'9", which is like 145 centimeters, which is what I set my Aura to. And then you have the males that are standing at like 7 feet tall, and then people just start, whenever you bring this up, people just start posting that one image of a hamster with a banana, and it's really funny and a little cursed. It's like, we all know what we're talking about. It's on average 30% taller. Yeah, that is really tall. Yeah, and I think the Viera is like 15% taller than male average. Okay, I did not realize that that's the average variance. That's not that bad, but it's still a pretty sizable variance. You're confused? What do you mean you're confused? Here, you know what? I'll just pull up a chart. It's probably easier if I just show you a chart. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is Final Fantasy 14, right? Here is a race height chart. I think this all includes everything that's currently active. Let's see here. So you can see female aura right here are like 4'9" to like 5'2.5", right? So and Mikote actually are slightly taller than they are for the most part. I don't know why this is not, okay, hold on, this is not fully accurate. The female aura in this image is, that's not the right chart. Hold on. That was someone trying to upscale it in a really annoying way. I think that, here we go. Probably the easiest way. Just, God, these images are so tiny. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So you can kind of see like how, okay, so here's what I'm talking about. Look how tall a female aura is, right? Okay, so they're like about 4'9.5" to about 5'2.5", right? So they're very short. Okay, and then look at female Viera. They're fairly tall. They're like 5'11" to like 6'3" queens, if you want to say that, if that's the word you want to use. Compare that to their male counterparts, where the this one doesn't include Viera, or male Viera, right? Doesn't have male Viera. I need to find one with male Viera now. Hold on. Okay, whatever. We'll just use this example. Okay, now you look at a male aura, which is this one here, and he is like 6'8", all the way up to 7'1", and then so people normally use the image, like whenever you compare like a male and female aura, the people will usually post the they'll usually post this image here. They usually like start pointing to this image because of the massive size difference between the two races, or between two members of the same race separated by gender. So make your own interpretations of what that means, but I'm sure you can probably get what it means without me having to explain it any further. It's not cannibalism, it's just more their sizes. Okay, 14 has some very interesting lore bits. It's fun. I don't know if it's ever explained why there's such a huge difference. You've never seen this? I'm weird. What do you mean? I'm not the weird one. I swear this is a common thing. I swear other people have talked about this before. I can't believe I'm being judged for this. I'm just saying 14 has some very funny size differences, okay? 14 is weird. And then meanwhile you have like the Lalafels, and they're all the same size. They're all like 3 foot like potatoes or something, right? Is that how tall Lalafell are? Yeah, 3 feet. Hey, my browser history is very safe and clean. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Oh. I've got this straight. Okay, sure. What do you want clarification on? I'm just saying 14 races have like crazy dimorphism. All right, especially when it comes to aura and primarily it's with the aura and Viera. The other ones are generally the same. I think Hrothgar are also a little wacky, but it's not that big of a difference. You delete it? I don't delete my history. I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy because I was like, man, if I delete my history, that means I'm gonna delete my cookies. I'm just gonna have to log back into all the websites that I've already remaining logged into. I'm too lazy to log out of. So I'm like, I can't be bothered. So anyways, that's some 14 lore. I will say 14 lore is kind of unique, although like Aura have all these cool scales, and apparently, you know, scales basically only came in 2 colors. You had like the dark one, and you had like the lighter one that was kind of like it's like more like a purple dark blue, and then you have the other one that's got like a off-white beige color. And now supposedly I saw somewhere that there might actually be one of the versions of the game that has color selectors for your character's horns, which is kind of interesting. They're like really leaning hard on character customization. Yeah, I think it was the mobile version that had it. Or no, it was the Switch 2 version. I saw it. It was the Switch 2 version. Someone found out that the Switch 2 version, for whatever reason, had a color selector for aura horns, which was really weird. And that's why everyone's like, what? That doesn't make any sense. So people are thinking it's either a bug or it might actually be a feature that they're considering implementing into 14 with the next expansion. We don't know yet, but it is something that it was spotted. If you did change your horn, it was only visible to other players on the Switch too. So yeah, I mean, yeah, they're expanding the color palette, but to be fair, I think this was about to be expected anyways, because a lot of people were like off the game modding their characters to look like mod beasts, which is another term that I don't really want to explain, but there is a subset of Final Fantasy XIV players that like modding the game to an extreme that it doesn't look like Final Fantasy XIV anymore, and their characters start to look like abominations, and so we call them mod beasts. Yeah, you can, they're allowing you to, it's not just the scales and horns. So one of the biggest problems in 14 was your horns was associated with a specific face, right? So for example, everyone who had the fish horns all had the same, like, I don't want to say droopy face, but it kind of had like the eyes were angled down on the outside face, right? Versus like the more normal looking faces. Now they're going to be allowing you to be a lot more, you can mix and match, I think is like the big change, at least for me, that I saw in that regard. Have any of you ever seen the word mod beast for Final Fantasy 14? Because it's so cursed about like what you can find in 14, because people want to, like, there's some people, I have friends who customize their game, like they mod their game and they have custom cosmetics and animations, but this only applies to their character, right? And it doesn't really affect anyone else, and if they want to play with it, that's fine too. But I've also seen a variant where it's like these people are customizing their characters to certain extremes where it stops looking like 14 and starts looking like IMVU or Second Life or a Korean MMO with butt sliders set to the maximum. It's a little nuts. They like to look like, I don't know, K-pop characters, like you know, like that thing where a lot of Asian cosplayers have that, they put like those bags under their eyes. Like that's a really common mod that I see nowadays. You know what I'm talking about? I always wonder like what was the point of that, and apparently it's because adding that to your face, I guess, makes you look more youthful or something like that, or it was like weird. You have no idea you don't know what I'm talking about? Hold on, I'll have to find it. Let's run you up there. We'll pull up some characters right behind. No, I've seen it like on cosplayers, like before. It's my Twitter feed. He's like, I'm not running mods, but I'm saying you can find these mods out there, and a lot of like mod beasts for some reason use those types of content mods, and you just have to look it up and you'll find it. It's weirdly common. Let's see. I'm gonna just pull up here. All right, let's pass the turn here. I don't like, listen, the only mod that I run is I basically just run burning down the house and like a few G-posing mods, because it's kind of fun to mess around with G-pose. Like I use Brio and that's about it. And obviously some other small things, but I'm not adding like some of the more questionable mods that you'll find. But yeah, there's a lot of people that add mod beasts to their 14 game. It's so cursed. I will say, one of the nice things about Final Fantasy XIV mod beasts is that you just don't ever really interact with them most of the time, because they're kind of sequestered into like their private nightclubs in, you know, Balmung or anywhere else where these individuals will gather, right? And so because of that, they get to be in their own little sequestered corner of the world, and we don't have to deal with it. What do you mean it's sus? I don't do it. I'm just saying, like, this is just a thing because you learn this knowledge playing 14 long enough, I think. And I think part of it is like the topic of mod beasts came up recently because people were Yoshi P has been like getting not Yoshi P, like the mod community in 14 has been like under a lot of flack because there's people that are making stalker mods essentially, and it turns out that's not a good thing. You sure haven't? Maybe it's just the people that, maybe it's just the people I interact with are more open to talking about mod beast shenanigans then. Maybe I'm the crazy one. I'm not saying I'm the crazy one, but maybe I am in fact the crazy one. Maybe I'm the one who's wrong. Oh my god, what? I forgot that Milky Blade can walk on water. Anyways, yeah, don't be a mod beast. But yeah, there's like a lot of like these crazy things in 14, like the God, I remember like I remember a long time ago I read an article about how someone was like running some kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, an inn of ill repute for Gil in 14. It was like in Wired for some reason, or was it Polygon? I can't remember. One of the two wrote an article about it. I'm like, this is what people do in 14. Like, what do you mean people don't just do adventuring stuff? I don't know. I've never been an RPer in any MMO, so it's not my field of expertise, and I don't particularly care. If you want to do whatever you want to do in 14, do what you want. I will continue just owning my cute little plot of land in 14 and having my own cute little house and going off on adventures and maybe doing the plot line. I gotta do that MSQ. I have been putting off doing that MSQ for far too long. Oh my goodness, that guy hurts. That husk is hurting. It's a social, exactly. Yeah, it's a social MMO, so these types of things are gonna happen anyways. Yeah, I finished Daunter before Evercold. I'll finish it. Me and Ray have basically promised each other that we'll finish Dawn Trail before Evercold comes out, because one of Ray's friends is rapidly catching up on the MSQ, and we're both very concerned because we're like, oh god, I think he's at Shadowbringers, and we're like, oh god. So don't worry, we'll finish it, I'm sure. Did he finish Shadowbringers? Oh, is he on Endwalker now? Oh. Well, that's awkward. Well, I guess we'll just have to double time it. Yeah, kidnap Ray so she actually has someone to play with, but what do you mean? I'm not gonna abandon Ray. No. I'm not gonna abandon Ray. Me and Ray will finish it together. I'm still ahead of Ray, because Ray actually hasn't even finished the main story. She's, I think, like, partway through the Dawn Trail MSQ. You know what's like, I think the saddest part about Dawn Trail for me was I got Dawn Trail when it came out, right? And I spent a lot of time trying to be ready to play Dawn Trail. I think I was unable to start Dawn Trail on release because I was in the middle of like the 7.5 plot line. And then when I eventually started Dawn Trail, I was really into it, but then I started like, I got bored of the plot like really kind of quickly, which was a little unfortunate, and that's kind of why it took me like forever to finish the damn thing, because I was just like, I didn't want to play the plot. It just kind of, I don't want to say it was a snooze fest, but it was a little slow. It was a little slow. Once we got to like the fun part, I was like, oh my god, I'm all in on this. Like I need to know what's happening. Like, this is actually good. I wouldn't say it's like no faith. I'm gonna say it's more just like the way that the plot was provided was not a super exciting thing at the time. This thing is so hard to kill. I'm not gonna lose my, why am I gonna lose my 14 card? I'm still playing the game. What? Hello there, how are you doing, Cameron? Welcome aboard. I cannot read. I don't know how to read your name. I'm so sorry. I can read like Kawa, and that's like about it. I need to like, I don't know how to read the rest of your name. I'm so sorry. Yeah, all I can read is like Kawa, and I'm like, I don't know how to. I'm very bad at reading kanji. Or if it's all Chinese characters, I'm sorry, but you were speaking in Japanese the other day, so I'm like, you're definitely. So I'm like, that's why I was confused. Yes, I'm streaming Fire Emblem. This is a ROM hack. Fire Emblem. Cards are confiscated and raised. No, it's how do I get my 14 card back? Is it by actually finishing the MSQ? Do I have to finish the MSQ and then I'll finally receive my card again? Is that how this works? Can I just have Ivy tank this? When in doubt, have Ivy tank everything. We're probably gonna get attacked in the rear. All raid content before. Oh my gosh. You know what's funny? I am actually so behind on all of the bonus content. I'm so behind on all the bonus content because I haven't gotten around to doing like I used to be like a huge proponent of the 24 mans, and I keep forgetting to do the 24 mans. Yeah, Ray told me she was doing like Shinryu Unreal, and I'm just like, what? That seems impossible. But then apparently it's like, oh no, yeah, no, she just casually did Shinryu Unreal. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I am definitely behind. Listen. I'm a very, very busy VTuber. All right, I have things to do, like spend 2 hours every night playing Battlefield 6. Someone needs to take that game away from me. I keep playing it like every night, and now they have like some stupid Top Gun collab event, which is like really weird. I think it's so funny. So Battlefield 6 has like some Top Gun collab event going on, where they have like, they introduce like the two-seater aircraft from Top Gun, but they couldn't afford Tom Cruise, so they had to bring in like, they have the other actors for like Warlock and Rooster as like the premier characters, but they're like, no, we can't get Tom Cruise. And I think that's hilarious. I think that's really funny. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I really should play more 14. I definitely want to try to getting more of the plotline done before me and Ray go to Japan. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep putting this off forever. So I gotta keep slamming through this plot, as they say. I am, though, somewhat aware of some of the plot beats, primarily because I've seen some of the characters as being cosplayed. When I was at an anime convention earlier this year, I actually saw a certain Aura character being cosplayed, mostly because I was in line with them when I was trying to play Chunism, which was also kind of funny. I wonder how difficult it would be to cosplay an Aura. There was actually like a decent amount. I saw like only two other, like, I think I only saw like one other like Aura cosplayer, and it was like some dude who was cosplaying like a male rogue Aura, and I'm like, well, at least there's more of them. No faith in you in 14, said no to the Anbernic RGSP terrible. What do you mean? You're making it sound like I'm an abusive husband. Didn't I just buy you things? What is this? I'm being bullied. My reputation is being tarnished. I can't believe this. Ray is ruining my reputation. I haven't even done anything. I can't believe this. What is this abuse? People are gonna think I'm some kind of terrible person when I'm just trying my best. Oh my god. Yeah, don't worry. I'm definitely gonna finish up that 14 stuff. We'll get through it in time. It's just gonna take a hot minute. See, at least someone believes in me. Someone believes that I can finish the game. I move Logro is really dangerous. That's to the extent Ray will allow it. I don't know. Listen, if Ray can finish it, I can finish it too. It'll be okay. No. See, okay, here's the thing. Okay, Dawn Trail, I do like where the plot's going. I just need to not be distracted. For me, I need like playing MMORPGs or like just any RPG. I need like a dedicated sit-down time. Unfortunately, instead of playing 14, which requires me to be at my desk, I have been playing Kingdom Hearts, which requires me to be in my bed. And it's a lot easier to justify laying in bed than being at my desk some of these days. Especially with Kingdom Hearts, what is it, coming out soon? Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm like, all right, gotta get ready, gotta replay the franchise from the very beginning. And I'm like, all right, we're good to go. Hey, I like Kingdom Hearts, okay? Kingdom Hearts I grew up with. I'm excited to see where the new franchise is going. They did shrink Sora's shoes. Sora doesn't have the big clown shoes anymore. He's got like normal sized shoes. It's really weird. Oh yeah, and then Ray's got like a new puppy that she's been like babying for like the past couple days or past couple of weeks. To the point Ray sometimes tells me that she just doesn't even turn on her computer and she just sits with the dog the whole time. Which, to be fair, you know, cute dog. Ray keeps trying to get me to sniff the dog, and I'm just like, I think I sniffed it enough times. I'm fine. But she won't take no for an answer. She's like, no, you gotta keep sniffing the dog. He is a very good hyperactive dog. Yeah, fresh puppy smell. God. You gotta sniff the dog. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I was like, it just smells like baby dog, but Ray is like in love with the smell of like baby dog for whatever reason. So I'm like, okay. Ominous. Okay, how do we kill this thing? What the? Can you not crit this? You can't crit. Oh my god, I hate. You can't crit this target. It's such a stupid mechanic. Ugh. Wait, hold on. I can longbow this. There we go. Cheetos or Fritos? Cheetos. Not even a question. I like Cheetos more. Fritos, I don't mind Fritos, but Fritos to me, I use it more as like a topping for certain things, or as a base for like a neutral that requires a neutral flavor chip. Like a walking taco type thing is pretty solid. Have your cats. You mean the pupper, you dork? What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean Cheeto or Frito? Am I misunderstanding this thing? What is this in the context of dogs? Oh, like what do they smell like? Apparently. Why do I just Google it. Why do my dog's feet smell like corn chips? That's a thing. I didn't even realize that's a thing that dogs can smell like. I thought we were just asking me like what's my favorite chip. I thought you were just legitimately asking like which chip do you prefer, and I'm like I got an answer ready to go. Because I already know what type of chip I consume on a regular. I actually don't eat that many chips nowadays, and if I do, I generally restrict myself to like Filipino or Asian chips because they have very much unique flavors. Or Canadian chips. Canadian chips are really good too because they've invented things like the ketchup chip, and that is truly a masterclass in culinary arts. I don't know. Listen. I don't need to know dog owner lingo that often. We have a dog, and he's a very good doggo, and that's about. But he's also like 9 years old now, and he sleeps a lot. And then I take him on walks every now and again, and then he gets excited, but then he wants to go back to sleep once we're back. Oh my god, these things don't move. Let's call that one. Let's pull that one in. There we go. You sniffed Hunter before? It made him all bouncy. I mean, I think he just likes the attention more than anything. Oh, I gotta drink more water. Oh my goodness, this run is like... This map is like, these fights aren't terribly difficult at this point either, which is kind of the whatever-ness of it. I mean, it's still a fine game, but yeah, don't worry. I will finish Dawn Trail before Evercold. Okay, Evercold comes out in what? In January? In December. So that means I have the rest of August, September. I'm kind of missing for like half of October and half of November. So that gives me about like 4-ish months of time to finish it. That's like one patch per month, maybe 1.5 patches per month, and I'll be concluding the Dawn Trail experience. It was loud for him. Oh, was he did not like it, I guess. Oh, what is this in carrying? Silver and Brave. I think Simon can tank that. That's fine. Plant Simon here. And once that's dead, I am like just pacing myself super slowly. It was loud and hot for him. I mean, to be fair, a dog dealing with that type of thing is going to be a little more surprised at like the loudness of a ice cream truck. I'm more surprised you encountered an ice cream truck. I didn't realize those things still existed. I thought they died the way of the dodo, like with COVID. I missed the ice cream truck. That stuff was fun. If I need ice cream, I have to either buy ice cream and have giant amounts at home, or I have to go to a dedicated ice cream shop, which I've actually been doing recently because they usually have good options. Oh my god. This thing I forgot has a stupid effect where it can heal HP. Yeah, it's really annoying. If your boss will judge you for taking a couple weeks off in January, I mean... If they say, I don't see why they would have an issue with it if, you know, you're using it for a good purpose, right? If you got a good reason, take the PTO, just take the PTO. I'm probably not going to take a whole week off. I'll probably just take like 1 or 2 days. I'll probably take like the Thursday, like it comes on what? I think they normally come out on a weekend, so I'd probably just take the Friday and the Thursday off and then just play it and then finish what I can, but I'm not going to finish it immediately. This is fine. He's still here, he's so sharp. You're here from blocks away. Can't believe you're being gaslit about it. Thought you're having an auditory hallucination. How much was the ice cream? That's a real question. How much are they charging now at the ice cream truck? They probably charge you like an arm and a leg nowadays. Oh, I thought you actually got a pretty good level up. Oh, I thought you wanted to buy ice cream, or did you? Oh, God. Why do they always do this? Like, you defeated the enemy. Here's like 5 more enemies you have to fight. Just like sudden, like random reinforcements. Great. Okay. Havel's gonna die unless we heal immediately. What you wanted? You walk away. What do you mean? Did you not? How much did you pay for your ice cream? Did you just like hand the ice cream man a bill and just expect and just like whatever you got back was whatever you got back? Like, what is happening here? I feel like we're missing some context. They took cards, so you don't even check how much they could have charged you like $10 and you would just be like, yeah, whatever. I will always ask like how much they charge me. Hello, Hayashi, how are you doing, comrade? Welcome. Hopefully you're having a good evening too. Oh, I can't believe Simon got a level up in magic, even though he doesn't need any magic growth. But yeah, interesting that this is how, I did not realize dogs eventually smell like Cheetos or Fritos. That is very funny. But anyways, yeah. Actually, speaking of like ice cream, I don't know why, but I really want like boba right now. I've been like craving boba for like the past couple days, and I'm like, I shouldn't because it's unhealthy and full of sugar. But at the same time, my desires for mangoes continues to grow every single day, and I'm like, oh my god, I really want a mango smoothie with like boba. There's a boba shop in Canada that I really like that me and Ray sometimes go to, and they have this wonderful yuzu flavored popping boba where it just like squirts out the yuzu juice in your mouth as you pop it, and it is like one of my favorite boba things I ever consumed. I'm like, this is so good, I need more of it. But unfortunately that's not a thing that we have over here, which makes me very sad, and I wish we had some. There's a bunch of boba places near me, but I actually opened one near me that's like 5 minutes away. I went one time, it was a little pricey for what they offered, but I was like, you know what, I might need to come back here because it's like one of the few nearby boba places that I don't have to drive like 20 minutes to go to, because there's no way I'm gonna make it at home because that's way too much effort. I will say I do miss ice cream trucks primarily because they had like a lot of those ice creams that you can only really get at ice cream trucks, like the SpongeBob ice cream or the Sonic the Hedgehog ice cream. I don't know if you can even buy those at stores, but you can definitely get them at ice cream trucks. I think Havel can kill this. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, I think as long as he gets the second hit, yeah. I will say, I think I do remember like those push pops. I think those orange push pops are like my favorite, although it was more or less just an orange sorbet inside of a popsicle form factor. But I remember that one being like one of my favorite ones to consume. Yeah, to bring Bo home. Oh, okay, gotcha. I mean, fair enough. Did you feed Bo any ice cream? Did you feed him any ice cream so that he can enjoy the fruits of modern icebox machines? Modern refrigeration at its finest. Oh my god, my neck is killing me. Can't have scratches because it has all the shots and there's been increased cases of parvo. Oh, that's right. I remember you mentioning that. Yeah, he's gonna like get sick. But anyways, yeah. Oh, how did we get into this? We're talking about 14, and now how did we go from 14 to ice cream? Oh, dog, right? We're talking about Bo. Oh my god, this thing is hard to kill. Can I just send Milky? Milky's got like 4 chances to kill this. 0 damage. All right, we have to just pray for the trigger. There we go. There's my assassination. Stupid, like, highly animated chesticles on this sprite is so stupid. Why did I agree to use this sprite? Oh, we gotta kill this last enemy, but hopefully we should be able to just blast it with magic. Yeah, Ray can just murder this thing. Yeah, the enemy got milked silly, if that's the word you want to use. Sure, why not? Let's use that terminology. Why not? Oh my goodness, my nose is like so stuffy. Also, you know what else has been bothering me recently? I've had a canker sore in my mouth for like the past 2 days, and I am slowly losing my mind with it. Like every time I'll floss my teeth, I'll just accidentally poke it, and I'm just in complete agony. and I don't know how to get rid of it. I just have to keep living with it for now, and it sucks. Oh wait, hold on. We can actually Fenrir this. This is not gonna move, so I think we can probably just have Lucina try to pop this thing with some dark magic. Maybe we trigger like a negative effect. There we go. And now it's asleep. Now it's easy to kill. Fantastic. I will need to use the restroom soon because I've been chugging this water like way too much, and this fight is getting a little too long. We're almost halfway there, and then we'll either finish up Iron Nest and do the last mission, or we'll do some post-game chapters depending on what people are interested in. Would you rather see post-game chapters, or would you rather see Iron Nest and see the end of all things, the final harvesting? God, I do love just the general vibe of Iron Nest. I did see recently that Iron Nest released an STL for a printable Iron Nest model, and I kind of want to print it because I have a 3D printer, but the problem is that the actual model's like 50 euros for the STL, and I'm like, as much as I want to support the devs, I don't really want to spend $50 for an STL file, so maybe I'll pass. When Kingdom Hearts Part 2, I don't know. I don't know. It was a fun stream, but I don't think too many people were really interested in watching it. It was the only reason I haven't done it in quite some time. I think I'd rather just do like a normal art stream again if I ever did anything like that. So we'd probably just do a standard art stream. But again, I need a reason to pull my art tablet off of my PS4 and actually do things with it. Maybe if I wasn't so distracted playing other video games all the dang time. I'm trying to finish all these RPGs. I haven't even started Final Fantasy 14 Rebirth, and then we have Revelation coming out in like a year. Kingdom Hearts 4 is coming out next year. There's so many things I need to finish playing, and I am running out of time very quickly. This thing is annoying to kill. What's the special ability? It's got Dragon Rage, Swap, Renewal, Savage Blow, Fortune, and Shade. Okay, that's annoying. That's all annoying. Well, I think I can park Ray here, and she's probably gonna survive. I think she has Miracle. Probably just run in and assassinate these things, and she's probably fine too. Until they rip a copy for PC. Which game? Kingdom Hearts 4 or Revelation? Because they're both coming. None of them are PlayStation exclusive. Kingdom Hearts 4 was announced for Revelations. I think was announced for all platforms simultaneous release. Same thing with Kingdom Hearts 4. It's all simultaneous release on every platform. Yeah, let me double check that. FF7 Revelation. Let me before. Yes, okay. Scheduled for release on Switch 2, PS5, Xbone, and Windows. So yes, it is a full simultaneous release on everything that you could want, which is awesome, I think. I think Square Enix has kind of learned that, you know, people want to be able to play their games on whatever platform that they want, and so they're like, okay, fine, we'll finally start releasing it on everything at once. Thank goodness, because I do not own a PS5, and I have zero intent of buying a PS5. I initially wanted to buy a PS5 because I love playing racing games like Gran Turismo, but ever since Forza Horizon came out, I was like, oh, I don't care anymore. Yote to get ripped? I mean, at some point, maybe it will be. No, Yote's not coming to PC. Sony's very much in the... Anything that's a PlayStation first-party title will not be coming to PC or Xbox or anything else. It will strictly stay on PlayStation unless it's a multiplayer title such as Helldivers, in which case they're like, all right, fine, we'll allow it to go on multiple platforms because, you know, for those types of games, the game lives and dies by its player base. So that's kind of like their logic, which, you know, totally fair. Wait, does this dragon move? Wait, oh, there's that thing coming after. Wait, what's coming after us? That's fine. So that's kind of their logic, is my understanding. Oh my god, I've not played Helldivers in like months. Some of my friends still play Helldivers actively, and I saw like, oh, they're doing some new updates, and I know they came out with like the Warhammer 40k War Bond, but it's not something that I've really touched in quite some time. And I was like, oh, maybe one day I'll come back to it, but I don't really have any intent to do so at the current time. Let's move the whole squad up a little bit. We're getting there. We're slowly punching up. But yeah, I still think it's really dumb that they're getting rid of discs. I know I get why they're getting rid of discs, because it's less that things that they have to produce and less hardware they have to put into their devices. But I'm still incredibly disappointed that this is the route that they're going with, where they're just like, well, you know, most people buy their game digitally, so we don't need to make discs anymore. But this is basically just getting rid of the secondhand gaming market, essentially. And what happens when, you know, PlayStation Network is gone forever? You know, are they going to just maintain the update files, patch files inside of the servers forever? No, they won't, because they've all been trying to shut down the PlayStation 3 PSN store and the PlayStation Vita PSN store. God, I love the Vita. I wish they made a Vita too. The Vita is like was my favorite handheld portable. I still have it. Wait, can the Ainthor run Vita? I need to look that up. Let's see, smack these things. God, I have so much good memories using a PlayStation Vita. Alright, I think Milky should be able to milk this enemy. She's got 4 chances to trigger Assassinate, so I guess we'll hope. There we go. See, I grew up with both the PSP and the Vita, and I think they were both wonderful devices. Oh my god. I wish the game would stop spawning like enemies like this. Super annoying stuff. Fine, we'll just kill this one. We have to kill as much as we can before they get too close. It's really, this is super annoying. Crash and Clank. I will say, like, the Vita's really, like, I think the Vita's, like, primary, like, main benefit of having a Vita. Okay, here's the thing. The Vita was a really good visual novel device. I know that sounds really weird, but a lot of companies were dumping their visual novels onto the PS Vita because it had, like, a HD screen. I think it's like a 720p screen, and the cartridges were able to hold a large amount of, you know, a decent amount of data, and that's why a lot of people were like, yeah, this is essentially a device to play visual novels, like how the PSP was the visual novel device of its era. The Vita was the visual novel device of that era too. Vita emulation ain't that great. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Probably because it has some kind of ridiculous Sony proprietary nonsense going on. Oh my god, Ivy dies to that. I think it's because this thing has like a bajillion stat. Yes, you can't even move close enough because it's got a range 3, which is super dumb. So I have to find a way to kill these enemies without moving too close. What if I just have Havel act again? Well, that's fine. I don't really need to play that many Vita games. I'd mostly be interested in playing things like, I don't know, the like the Metal Gear Solid collection and all that stuff. I love Metal Gear Solid. I still want to. I wish. I kind of want to stream Metal Gear, but I'm also aware that most people probably aren't terribly interested in watching a Metal Gear stream. So, you know, that's kind of the reason why I haven't actually streamed any Metal Gear title. I would love to stream the best one, though. Which, to me, is... to me, Phantom Pain is probably, like, my favorite one, but I do like them all. It'd be a lot of fun to kind of revisit that genre of gaming. I think putting Lear here was probably a mistake. I have to find a way to pull Lear out or else he explodes into a million tiny pieces, which is probably not ideal. We'll figure that out in a second. Unless Lear can use the power of anime on his side. But yeah. Okay, I think we can reposition and then... I need to run this way. I need to be like 3 tiles away from this thing so we don't explode. I think Havel might die, actually. I might have messed up. Shit. Oh, I think I messed up here. Because this thing just blows Havel up into pieces, right? Yeah, because that thing has a bajillion stats and it's going to instantly kill Havel. I did not think about that, and that will force a map restart if I do this. I think I have to, like, reload 1 turn back. Yeah. Okay, no, hold on. I have an idea. Hold on. I think I have a solution. I think this works. So we're gonna rescue you, pull you out here. Then I have to go here. Then Ivy can go over to Havel, reposition Havel. There we go. We've saved Havel. Barely. Look at that. I am a genius. I did it. I did the thing. Let's go heal up here. So, yeah, I do like a lot of the Fire Emblem. I do like a lot of the Metal Gear titles. They're all really fun. I think it's also just because I think it's just it's such an interesting take on alternate history shenanigans that is usually part of the course in Metal Gear, because obviously it's a lot of like, oh, what if this alternate timeline history shenanigans where, you know what I mean? Don't worry, Havel, you're not dying anytime soon. It's like an alternate Cold War timeline with all sorts of wacky nonsense happening. Alright, let's see if Simon survives. That's a little rough, but Z Opposer survives, I think. I think he only gets tagged once. Yeah, the dragon's not gonna kill anyone. Don't worry, Havel, we're not gonna let you die. Also, because if you die, it's a game over. I'm literally not allowed to let you die. So, make of do with that information what you will. Oh, I do remember seeing one thing that was something I did want to talk about. I don't know if anyone here uses Bilibili, but I guess for whatever reason, they're making Bilibili a global platform now, which is gonna be interesting to behold, because it's basically platform owned by a totalitarian dictatorship versus platforms owned by you know, Western democracies. And a lot of people are thinking that Bilibili is going to be actually an actual competitor to YouTube, and it'll be interesting to see how this pans out, because obviously it's a lot of content designed for a Chinese audience, and I don't really partake in Chinese audience pandering in any way whatsoever. As we all know here, I have opinions on that type of thing that I probably wouldn't be let on that platform. But I'm also wondering, like, well, maybe it might be worth it to possibly just use the platform as an extra content platform, but I haven't decided if that's the thing that I want to do. I have to think about it. It's probably not worth it. You enjoy Winnie the Pooh too much? Yeah, I'd have to start self-censoring, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to self-censor at all. It's not my deal. I gotta kill this last goober here. I think I can just send Havel again to kill it and should be fine. Yeah. You know the best interpretation of Winnie the Pooh? The one that's in Kingdom Hearts. I don't think I self-censor that much on YouTube for YouTube. If anything, I just mostly have to pick music a little more carefully, otherwise YouTube starts whining and complaining, because there's so many people on YouTube that are like, oh, you used like 5 seconds of this audio clip, we're going to give you a copyright notice. I'm not even joking. That happened on one of my VODs recently, where it's like, yeah, I got hit with some kind of copyright notice for some reason. It's not changing anything about the video, but it's like, hey, we detected you used like 3 seconds of a song. And I'm like, okay, I guess, thanks for letting me know. Let me see which VOD it was, because it was super stupid. I was like, this is dumb. It was the VOD for... Okay, well, okay, I can't find it. Oh, it was the art stream one. Yeah, it was the art stream one. There was like a copyright thing on it, and I was like, I didn't even realize there was like a copyright thing on this, but apparently that's just what they find out all the time. Oh, I see. Yeah, because I was using the Girls and Panzer soundtrack, and apparently that's copyright. So that's why. No, it's because the Girls and the Panzer soundtrack, because it's an anime soundtrack, I guess is technically you're not supposed to be using it in any way, shape, or form, because it's an anime soundtrack. So I don't make the rules. I just look at it and I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. That's what they decide. All right, I'm not the one who chooses these things. I need to use the restroom. I've been chugging a decent amount of water. Oh my god, Logger's getting clapped here. Dodge? Nope. All right. Yikes. All right. I think there's a paladin that's coming after Logger too, and I don't think Logger's gonna be able to counterattack either. Let's see how this pans out. Okay, once I finish my next turn, I will use the restroom, because then I can let the game auto-run the enemy turn, I think. Yeah, that'll be fine. So anyways, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be using Bilibili, but yeah, as Ray says, she watches it for strictly a single V-singers. There's a lot of V-singers on Bilibili, yeah, a lot of them are really good at it. And I know there's a lot of other people that stream on Bilibili, and there's a lot of VTube, like Western VTubers, that are weirdly popular because of it. Like, I think Merryweather is like ridiculously popular in the Chinese VTuber sphere. Maybe it's because of his European accent and the fact that he's essentially like a self-made, you know, indie icon in a way. I think Porcelain Maid's also like really popular in the China sphere for like as well, and at least for indie VTubers, and obviously like all the big major name female VTubers like in HoloLive are gonna be super popular over there. So that's at least not terribly surprising. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna be using that platform. I can't even be bothered to use Kick or RPlay or any of the other wacky platforms that exist because there's just so many. If anything, the only thing I'd probably do would maybe I'd try streaming to Twitter, but even then that's a little iffy. I'm not sure if that's something that I really want to try because I'm pretty sure my PC could handle it. Is it a good idea to try it? I don't know. Probably not. But it's an option. And I think it's always good to have options, especially if they can help increase your audience in these trying times as a content creator. Because everyone and their mother wants to be a content creator. I get it. It's a unique opportunity that we have as terminally online individuals. Like, oh, you could be a content creator. I know people that are like travel content creators, and they like get a lot of money from like sponsorships to. And that's how they can kind of afford to perpetually be on vacation because their vacation is their work because they're like, oh, yeah, I'm reviewing this thing at this big company's, you know, amusement park or vacation travel thing. So it really depends like what you're aiming for. God, in another timeline, I'd be a food influencer, but I think food influencers have kind of gone the way of the dodo too. Okay, so I think Darcy can kill this, and I think we should be fine. We got to kill that last thing. Darcy's done a pretty good job of slapping enemies, which I do appreciate. Alright, I do need to use restroom, so let me get ready to do that once I hit end turn, and then I'm gonna turn on all the hot pot thing. God, I've not had hot pot in forever, unironically. I kind of want hot pot again. It's been too long since I've had a hefty bowl of hot pot with all the meat and stuff. Need more muscles in my life. Actually, I shouldn't eat that many muscles. Muscles give you gout. All right, I'll be right back. Since I'm gonna pass turn now, we're probably gonna just kick it back to the player phase anyways. So I'll be right back momentarily. I swear, there's like another part 2 to this map that's gonna be crazy. Speaking of 14 stuff, I can't, or Fire Emblem stuff, I can't wait until Fortune's Weave comes out, because boy, that game is gonna generate another 5 to 10 years of Fire Emblem Three Houses discourse, and probably involve a lot of semi-racist comments about certain characters and whatnot, because let's just say they have gone a very interesting direction with the character design in this game. And I kept seeing people making jokes that they made these characters this way because now MiHoYo can't copy their characters anymore. Because there was a character that came out in Three Houses called Dimitri, and he's got a really cool vibe, and he has like an eye patch, and he's wearing a lot of blue. And apparently there's a character in Genshin Impact that looks almost exactly like him, and so now people are making the joke that, yeah, they made all the characters, and a lot of the characters in Fortune's Weave dark skin so that they can't copy, that MiHoYo can't copy their homework anymore. Because apparently MiHoYo's got like some weird allergic aversion to having dark skin characters, which is very funny. I don't know. At least it's just something I've been noticing about there's been a lot of discourse about like character designs and whatnot, because people are always going to find things to complain about, especially because it's Fire Emblem. I swear to God, Fire Emblem fans are the ones that are like some of the loudest complainers about everything, and I'm included in that category. I cannot wait for Fortune's Weave though. I'm excited to see where this goes. Can we smack this one? Ooh. That's fine. And then I kept seeing people calling like one of the new character designs basically, yeah, for lack of better words, like discount, or what's his name? Alucard, Dracula, whatever you want to call him. Here we go. Milky should kill this. Milky has to be one of the most overpowered characters we have, just because the assassinate trigger happens way too often. But if there's an enemy that I don't want to think about, I can just send Milky at it, and then it just explodes, which is great for me. Okay, so the reason we triggered that is so we have to kill all these now, which we should be able to do so. Anyways, after this PME is done, we're probably not going to do a PME for quite some time. As much fun as this was, this has been a... I think what I'm learning is that for a lot of games that is not RimWorld, I think people's interest in those titles only lasts for like 3 or 4 streams at most, is what I've kind of discovered. It's not going to say I'm not going to be doing full playthroughs of games, but you start to notice that, you know, there's not a lot of people that are terribly interested in watching the PME anymore. And I'm just like, at this point, I'm just like, I'm already this deep in, I want to finish it. And that's kind of how I feel. Is that the right way to feel about it? Not really, probably, but it's kind of how I am feeling about this run. And I'm just going to make a save state real quick. It's very unlikely we're going to do another PME for quite some time. If we do, it's going to have to be an even shorter hack. I don't want to do a 12 episode ROM hack run like this, because it just takes forever. We started this way back in like, I want to say May, and I'm pretty sure people stopped caring about it halfway through. It's going to be interesting to see how much people want to see the XCOM Star Wars game that's coming out at the end of the month, because I will be trying to stream that. I am very, very excited for that title. I'm not sure if I'm going to stream it the day it comes out, because it comes out on Ray's birthday. I mean, maybe we'll do it like the week after, but I'll have to think about it. So we'll see, but I definitely will be streaming it, because I am very excited to see what they've kind of done to make, you know, to bring Fire Emblem to, or bring XCOM to, bring Star Wars to XCOM. Oh wait, is that on? Oh wait, yeah. It is on a Friday this year, yes. Yes, I looked at the calendar earlier today just to make sure I don't forget, because if I forget, I'm gonna die. Yes, it is next week. You already have your birthday present, so I don't know what to tell you. You got 1 present early? You got 2 presents early! I literally gave you your birthday present like the last time I was there. I can't believe this. I guess that doesn't count. I guess Ray wants another present from me. Wait, support. Here we go. We can do this one. Yay, give me another stat potato. Alright, there we go. Or I guess we don't get another stat potato. Alright, we're almost there. We're almost at the final boss. We're just gotta fight just a little bit longer. Speaking of other games that we might have time to start playing again in the future, I am interested in doing more Star Sector at some point. Especially once the new patch drops. I definitely want to do some Star Sectoring, but since it's not out yet, you know, gonna be a little bit of time. I'm not there. I mean, obviously I'm not there right now. It's kind of hard to be there, but I'm all the way over here, far, far away. Does Gina die to this? I have no idea if Gina dies to this thing. Probably Gina explodes to this thing. I think this ignores defenses. Oh, wait, that's really funny. If it kills a unit, it gets to go again. That's really funny, actually. That's incredibly cursed. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. All right, we'll just do this. That's fine. So yeah, I've been seeing a lot of my mutuals playing Star Sector more frequently again. I'm like, all right, I should probably go play this wacky game again because at least it's kind of fun, and it's a good way to just kind of yap about science fiction type stuff, because I do like reading science fiction and watching science fiction things. I have not gotten around to watching certain things. I've been meaning to, for example, to get around to watching Three Body Problem, the Netflix version, not the original Chinese version of Three Body Problem. Something about a dragon standing on its two hind legs like that, like a human, just seems really wrong, and I don't like I don't like that. I did not like that at all. That was very strange and unnatural. Please, dragon, don't ever do that again. I don't ever want to see a dragon standing on its two hind legs like that. That did not look normal. It looked really unnerving and unnatural. I mean, to be fair, this one should die fairly quickly. This one should not be that hard to kill. So. Oh my god, I am actually getting tired. We'll see how far I can get after this fight. Oh, but at least everyone enjoyed Iron Nest yesterday. Iron Nest was a lot of fun. I really want to see PvPK though. What else is on, like, what else should I be playing next week? Because now that we're opening this time slot up, maybe we'll do another vote. Or I guess we could do Darkest Dungeon again. I don't know if anyone saw this, but they did say, hey, Darkest Dungeon is getting new DLC for some reason. Darkest Dungeon 1. Yeah, it's really weird. So Darkest Dungeon 1, they're adding new DLC because they're backporting the new classes that got added in Darkest Dungeon 2 into Darkest Dungeon 1. Actually, it just came out. It's actually out now. And it's really weird. It's going to be really odd because Wayne June, who was the voice actor for the narrator, right, the ancestor and all that, is obviously not with us anymore. He passed away. So I'm kind of curious how they handled his voice lines. Did they just copy his voice lines from the first game and threw it in the second one, or did they just leave it empty, like no voice lines for these hero actions? It'll be interesting to find out, because one of the things about his death, and I'm not sure if people know this, is that when he passed away, or as he was about to pass away, he actually told the developers at Red Hook Studios, the developers for Darkest Dungeon, that, hey, if you want, you are free to train an AI model on my voice, is what he told them. And it was very interesting because he was very anti-AI, like training a model on his voice, but I guess on his deathbed he wanted the fans to at least be able to keep hearing his voice as he, forever longer, but Red Hook Studios declined the offer and chose not to do that, so that's why we're never going to hear him in anything new content, which is really sad. I'm kind of curious if they ever make a Darkest Dungeon 3, what they're going to do for the narrator, because you can't copy his voice. His voice is so unique to, and like really made Darkest Dungeon like the, I think, icon that it was. I don't think it's so much of a shame. I think they just wanted to be like, they wanted to respect, like, yes, he offered, but I think they wanted to like keep the human element of Darkest Dungeon by not doing an AI model of his voice. So I think I get it. I think I totally get it. And there we go. Zwinterhell is dead. Oh, shame he died. Yeah, no, it is a shame. Everyone agrees with that. Yeah, because he was only like, what? How old was he when he passed away? Oh, he was born in 1954, so the man was like 70 something. Yeah, okay, yeah, he was 70 years old. Yeah, no, he died last year because it was like a huge topic of discussion on the Darkest Dungeon subreddit for quite some time, because everyone was like talking about like, oh, what are they gonna do for the voice acting and all that stuff, and people like, we just don't know, because they don't want to replace him necessarily, and they didn't want to add new voices quite yet in. Okay, here we go.
Did we do it? Fool. You cannot kill what resides. I am inevitable. There is no avoiding what you fear. So as long as you stand, I cannot fall. Forgo your beliefs, they will not bring you victory. No, you're reforming. How can you?
Everyone regroup. Oh boy, is this phase 2? Or are we getting like an anime fight? I think we're getting an anime fight cutscene.
Zwinderhell, he's still standing. We can't give up Lear. He has a weakness. We have to find it.
No, I know why he's able to stand. Zwinderwell, he's feeding himself with my emotions. Hopelessness, despair, doubt. He can still stand as long as I feel this way. I just can't. This man is going to use the power of friendship to overcome his sadness and defeat the evil darkness creature. Okay. I don't know what to do. I keep thinking I found some resolve and I can't. And now.
Lear, pull yourself together.
I remember you saying that you're afraid of being a false hope. You're not a false hope. You're a real hope. We trust you. We need you. We believe in you. But I'm missing the proof. Something's missing. Without that, I think I understand. I think I know what you're missing. I've been hesitating to tell you, but I know it's true. The proof you need, Lear, is around you right now. It's us. All of us together. Oh my god, it's actually the anime. Wait, oh my god. They're all gonna give a anime speech. They're all gonna give an anime speech about why Lear's the best person ever. We believe in you always. You're no longer a kid, Lear. Stand strong. We're with you. You've always been a strong one, Lear. I've seen it firsthand, and this will certainly not be the last. We could not get this far without you, Lear. Do not doubt yourself. You're supposed to be dead. Sir Lear, I admire you. Please don't doubt yourself. That's what I'd do. Oh, they're going through everyone. This is an actual anime cutscene where they just have everyone going like, you got this, and we're all gonna have our own funny one-liner clips. Did we read all of them? It's like 33 characters. All right, let's just go through all of them. So to you, you're a fantastic leader, Lear. Don't give it now, please.
If you want me to admit it, fine. I've stuck around more than gold. It's cause I believe you can change this world, okay? I believe in you. No ordinary person would take someone like me and change their life for the better. You are unique. You are wise. Stay true to yourself, Lear.
Hey, no sadness now. You aren't someone who should feel this way. I believe in you. You've never backed down. You've always moved forward. So let's end this fight together, Lear, to a new future. All right, I don't want to do voices anymore. My throat's gonna die. I know there is struggle to find resolve. So believe me, Chief, I know you can lead us to victory. Hello, Ziryu. How are you doing? Who are you? Who is this character? I can't. Life can be cruel, and you want to solve what plagues us. Your cause is one I agree with. I choose to fight with. The Samsung phone. We aren't done yet, kid. I know the Queen would be proud of you as I am. Currently at university, you can't hear. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Let's see. Final anime cutscene where they all give Lear hopes and dreams and good vibes. Struggling is such a painful feeling, one you don't deserve.
Stars shine at night, and Lear, your shine is the brightest.
This is hopelessness is not what I feel or wish upon you, Lear.
Sir Lear, you've been nothing but kind and generous to me. I'm truly grateful. I'm happy, so please don't give up hope.
Looks like what you need is some tough love right now, eh? Come on, boy, we're all here for you, aren't we, eh? I wouldn't risk my last few years here if I didn't believe in you, eh? Since we've met, I know you changed this world, Leah. We will help you find your resolve before we believe in you. Oh my god, it's going through every single character. Our lives are tied to your leadership. We haven't lost yet, and we won't lose today. I have the utmost respect for you, Lear. I'll never forget what you've done. I'll always admire you. So I ask you, please believe in your words, in our words, and lead us to victory. You can do it. You brought back glory to Zeltnik. That's more than enough for me to believe in your cause. His Majesty has changed because of your efforts. This proof is suffice enough for my bow to follow your orders. You're still here. You cannot allow such malice to overcome you. Who is this character? Oh, she must be one of the NPCs. That's why I don't remember her. Allow them to hamper you and you'll lose your... No, she was actually like recruitable. I forgot. She was like the swordmaster who died in like one chapter. Like, we got her and then she immediately died. Someone with a strong aura as yourself shall not falter. This war is near its end. All due to your contribution. Oh god, I forgot Sonic's sprite sheet is broken. You've led us this far to victory. Now let's finish this, Lear. Okay. As a Phaetarian knight, we are allowed to leave our king. I've chosen to stay by your side, Lear. A choice that I've made. Our job as mercenaries is to complete the task we're paid for. This job requires no payment. All I need is your resolve. Oh ho, you haven't forgotten about me, have you, Lear? Whenever you have or have not, my axe is your command. We're all magnificent in our own ways, don't forget that. ... I've seen humans idiotically take away life itself. An act that has repeated itself no matter the person. All except you. Perhaps it's due to your dragon blood within you. Regardless, if these words can encourage you somehow, then I grant you some of my trust. Defeat this pathetic shell of a dragon is my request. Do you see? We all believe in you. The proof you need is what you made into your own. The Cypher Mercenaries. That is who we are and what you perfected. The Cypher Mercenaries! You all truly believe in me! Of course we do. The Cypher Mercenaries are a group that give hope. Hope that you helped create for those who believe in. Lear, it's time for you to believe in that hope. Oh my god, he's oh, what is happening? Is he getting new... It's so cheesy that it turns out it loops around to being amazing. What do you mean you get an item called You Got a Hope? I found it, my resolve. Lear, I'm sorry, I was afraid of telling you because I let risk and fear cloud my judgment, but that's not what we need or what you need. You aren't a false hope, you're you. And now that's all that's needed. Kira, you always believed in me ever since we were children. Believe in yourself now of all times. If you're gonna give a speech, how about saying it to everyone? You're right, then. Why are we giving speeches? There's a big, evil, angry dragon behind you. Shouldn't you kill that first before you give your anime speech? He's reforming, literally. Go take your sword and cut him apart. Everyone, I found what I needed. I found my resolve. The hope you all have in me. I now carry what you believe. From now, once and for all, we'll all end this together. Never give up your hope. This is our ending. Oh, they did the title drop. They put the name of the chapter in the chapter. Whoa. What is happening here? Wait, did we just literally get everyone? Even like the unplayables? Yeah, like here's Zickman, who's not a recruitable, I think. Or is he? Maybe he is, and I forgot. Oh no, he is one of our characters. Yeah, I forgot he is one of ours. I think we like used him like one chapter and we never use them again. That's like the problem. Yeah, this... Oh my god. I can't. This is so stupid. It's so cheesy. It's so cheesy. It loops back around to being amazing. You found a lightsaber? How... I can't... Have you seen like lightsaber like... Hold on, I'll talk about lightsabers in a bit. But oh my god, this is so stupidly cheesy. Look at his stats. He gets... Okay, so with the Fire Emblem and with the Hope, he now has a +7 to everything. He is an anime character who takes almost little to no damage against this thing and will basically insta-kill this in a few turns. Why are you a human now? You dare impose... Wait, you dare impose against what destiny brings? No hope, no salvation, nothing will stop me. Feeling of regret shall swallow any pride you have, eh? Well, see, did I make him Australian or Canadian last time? I cannot remember. Talk about some lightsabers companies trying to see a lightsaber. You know what's funny? A lot of school, I've seen a lot of like lightsaber clubs. There's a lot of local lightsaber clubs in a lot of major cities because they like the concept of like lightsaber duels so much because it's such a unique concept. Right, so they're like, okay, well, let's all have, you know, custom lightsabers. There's like a lot of companies, like individual bespoke artisans that make unique lightsabers that they can use for these types of duels, and they're really fun to watch. I'll show a video of one of them later. I can't believe I can't remember if I made Zwinterhell Australian or Canadian, and now I really don't remember. I should have made him like German or Russian. It'd have been infinitely funnier. Thankfully, Zwinterhell ain't long for this world. The poor guy is about to explode into a million tiny pieces because turns out he sucks. He can't defeat the power of anime. The power of anime and of God and anime is on our side, or something like that. Zwinterhell, the Dark Dragon weakened by Lear's resolve. Xena. Let me find Xena. I can't remember what class Xena is. All right, this was I forgot we had her and then she died fairly early. Which one is Xena? I don't have a Xena. Wasn't your character Tabitha? I think your character was Tabitha, right? But she can't fight. She's not a combatant. She actually has no combat skill. She's strictly a caster. It was Xena. Did you actually have a character named Xena? Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. Hold on. Let me look at the sheet real fast. That's probably how I find it. Xena. Oh, okay. So Xena died. I'm not even joking. So Mao actually dies in the plot. Yeah, you get Mao for one chapter and Xena's replaced Mao, and then he just disappears because Mao / Xena sacrifices themselves so that Lear and company don't get affected by the evil poison gas from the Dragon's Gate. It's very tragic, but that's kind of what happens. All right, here's Lear doing his anime backflip attack. I didn't know it was actually a plot death. I could not control it. So be it, eh? I guess I'm dead, eh? Is that how Canadians talk? I just have to seize the gate. Oh my god. Wait, what does the hint do? Hold on, there's a hint thing. Never give up your hope. All right, thanks. Wait, can we go to here's village? There's a lot of bugs around the house. That skeleton arm is still twitching. Oh, okay. That's weird. Is there any other houses we haven't visited yet? Let's see. Plot doesn't really matter. I think this one might have something. It's a skeleton. There's something near the body. It looks melted. Well, yeah, because the dragon probably melted it. Okay, let's go seize the gate and be done. It's over, Zwinterhell. There's nothing left for you to do other than pass. The birds. What? These birds chirping, eh? I've never heard life like this in such a while. Your voice. You sound like you're saying something. Is that really you? Lear, you did it almost. Please, finish the job, eh? Oh, wait. If you're back to normal, there's no need to kill you. My body's dying. Madness has corrupted me. And if you do not, it will return. And it will attack again, eh? Let me be free, Lear. Let me see my friends. Yeah, he really has no neck. Yeah, the man is like, he's just, I don't want to say he's a hunchback, but his profile, his sprite is not giving him any favors. I'm sorry, Zwinterhell. I wish I could have known you under better circumstances. Goodbye. Chomp. This world's in good hands. I'll leave it for you all, eh? Thank you. And you killed the poor man. Blow my shit move off misspelled Shakespeare character. I couldn't save him. I couldn't save everyone. Lear. And yet. Yabooga. What? Who to you too? You weren't ignoring me, were you? We got something to show you. Hurry. Oh boy. What are we about to see? What am I missing? Here, don't you see? Look at the sky. The sun. Well, not directly at it, but look near it. There's gonna be an alien ship near the sky. You're right, the sky, the sun. They look brighter, like it's been restored. Okay, I thought they were gonna be like, there's an alien in the space. Lear, look outside. There's a giant alien dragon spaceship in the sky. Yeah, I'm not even joking. If you ever play Final Fantasy XIV, the dragons are literally aliens and you go into space and you have to fight them. It's so whack. We've done something to impact Rodolphia. This is it. We can change Rodolphia. We did it. Then our fight, this whole war, it's over. It's finally over. It even feels that way too. It has been done. This war has reached its end, and its efforts go to you, Leah. Well done. I'm ever so proud of you.
To think you were once bedridden and now... No, I must. I'm so proud. You wanted me to take care of you if something happened. Don't forget how they're fleeing the giant robot of doom. Yeah, I forgot in 14 they're fleeing the giant robot of doom, right? And so they're like, but all the dragons are dead, and so all the dragons you fight or encounter are all technically ghosts, and it's like, all right. Or I think 14 is best when it's fantasy and less sci-fi, but I know a lot of people do like the science fiction aspects as well. I'm not terribly fond of the science fiction aspects too much. I like it when it's blended well into the fantasy aspect. I think going into space was kind of a mistake, but what do I know? That child's now a man. I'm so proud, Lear, so proud. Okay, I'm just gonna skip the rest of this because it's gonna take forever. We're all set. Do you have anything left? No, I said we'll be back here soon. Don't fear the land freed from Svindahel. We should focus on his recovery, and this place is where you'd like to start, isn't it? When the time comes, I'll make this place a goal. A reminder of what came and what to appreciate. Everyone giving their support is what I need. I'll never forget. But first, we should return back home to attend this. Oh my god, I forgot about attend this. Let us be off. All right, so then... I think this is the part where we say goodbye to everyone, which if you want to experience this yourself, I recommend playing the mod yourself properly. And we're saying goodbye to everyone. Goodbye, Samsung phone. Goodbye, Milky Blades. So is this a ROM hack with an original story? Like a lot of ROM hack authors write an original story, but they generally have a lot of the same core identity of Fire Emblem, like dragons slowly going crazy, dragons being rare, usually some item called the Fire Emblem that is significantly plot relevant, swords and sorcery, that type of deal. And I think all dragons are the one fled into the ghost dragons are the ones in the original Dragon's Home. Ah, okay, gotcha. So I must part ways with you here. Okay, goodbye, Milky. Thank you for fighting. Goodbye, Gina, who's returning to Crop? I don't know how to pronounce this. It's C-H-R-O-P. Crop, I think is how it's pronounced. We have caught my interest in Rablible. All right, and then goodbye. Yeah, we're just saying goodbye to every character where they're returning back to their homelands, and they're saying thank good job. I'm not gonna read all of it because it's gonna take forever. But you know, at least it's part. There goes Ray. There goes Zickamond. There goes Kyomi. It's average Eastern European city names. God. Goodbye. 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 All right. Goodbye. Goodbye, Sonic. Goodbye, Darcy. Goodbye. I can't remember your name. Clara, I think is what her name was. Yeah. Goodbye, Helena. Goodbye, Meline, I think is what her name was. Goodbye, Simon. Oh wait, no, Simon's still with us. Okay. Welcome to Jabrible. All right. Goodbye, Emmett Yan. Goodbye, Logger. Goodbye, Umi. Goodbye, Totiu. Goodbye. I think this one. Who was this one? Arani. I think this is Arani. Goodbye, Analea. Goodbye. Oh, that's it. Okay. Then the four friends return home to Attendus, and we say some words. Oh, hold on. We found something. Now we must return the Fire Emblem, and we'll remember all of our dead friends. The symbol is a symbol of hope now. Yes, and we will carry the flame of the future and remember those who passed. Like, this game actually does have some nice lines. Like, unfortunately, I think a lot of this game's... I'll talk about it after this, but a lot of this game's dialogue is so cheesy sometimes that it does sometimes loop back to being really great, but it doesn't help that some of the dialogue's a little awkward and leans a little too much into a lot of anime tropes. But something like, for those who passed and for those who lived, is a really good line. It's something that I would probably end up writing myself if I wrote fantasy. But then you break the seriousness of this by like, hey, you want to gouge ourselves on Trebliblian food? It's like, okay, come on. Yeah, but I guess it's also just how they're trying to portray it, where it's like, hey, they're still technically young and they're still kids and there's a bright future for them that they can kind of look forward to. So I don't necessarily blame some of the choices that they made. Oh my god, here we go. And we have completed Fire Emblem Sealed Hope PME3. It only took 348 turns over 12 episodes. Good lord.
All right. Milky Blade, this magnificent soldier, remained magnificent for all. Her transcended luck for all, but none... She transcended luck for all, but none knew where she came from. Who? Helena returned to Samson's side. I'm not gonna read all of these. You can read it if you want, but just remember the name in the text box is not necessarily the correct name. I did not use Helena that much. I'll just try to give like general thoughts on characters as they play through this. We used a Sonic for like 1 or 2 chapters. He was a general. We barely used them, unfortunately, primarily because we already had like Havel as our primary general, and we had like a lot of other tanky units, so we didn't really need Sonic for the most part. Darcy was generally okay as a character. Like she needed a bit of help, but once she kind of got going, she definitely started getting going. She'd never hit like Lear levels of being a strong hero, but generally was fine as a character. I feel really bad because Clara had a lot of potential as a character. Unfortunately, I got her killed kind of early, and that was very unfortunate. If she had survived, she probably would have been one of our better characters. And again, it's not one of Limeware's characters that just kind of got screwed by really bad growths and whatnot, or just by either bad play or bad growths. I can't remember who this one is. I don't remember. I don't. Oh, this is Lucina, right? Okay, that's Lucina. That's fine. Lucina was a fine character. I think she definitely needed a lot of stat potatoes before she was viable. One of her past. Okay, so then the Samsung phone we did start using a decent amount too, instead of Zikman, because he is a very, very powerful or very durable halberdier. Who's next? Ah, yes. This is Gina. We used her a few times. She's really weird. She's like a weirdly tanky Pegasus rider, which is fine, but I was like, I didn't really know how to use this character properly, so just kind of was there. This was... I can't remember the name of this specific character. It's Ivy. Was this Ivy? Okay, Ivy was probably like an MVP. Unironically, I think Ivy was probably like an S rank 5-star character. We'll go into it more in depth once we get to the character stat screens. Oh, poor Garm. Garm's character got murdered relatively early and was very unlucky, so didn't get a chance to really shine. A lot of the characters who did die had like maybe like 1 or 2 chapters of showing up. We lost 6 characters this run, FYI, if you're kind of curious how many died. We did not use this dude. Yawahar just got benched so hard and did not get any chance to shine because his base stats were so bad and I could not find any reasonable way to use the man. It sucks, but that's just the hard, cold truth. Oops. But that's just... yeah, he was just not usable at all. This is... I don't remember. You know what? Can we just skip this section? I don't really want to go through this. I'd rather just see the character dialogue. We'll just kind of do this if you want to read it later, but I'm not going to go through all this. Let's go see the stats screen real quick. And that's probably an easier way for us to kind of review everything that's happened in this game so far. I do want to see what Lear... okay, Uvel disappeared. This is Simon. Lear returned home and merged the Cypher mercenaries with the Treblebian Knights. Lear's name spread around. Attendus and the people deemed him Hope's Reflection. Wow, what a title. Young ages. Oh, well, now when they're kids. I can't believe it. Look, Akira, watch me go over there. Look, watch me go over there now. Wow, look at. Oh, okay. This is Lear when he's a baby. Oh my gosh, yeah. He's like a toddler. And then there's Mao. It's actually kind of neat, but I think if you want to watch this, go play the actual ROM hack yourself. Oh, there's a... okay, welcome to the post-game hub. I actually kind of want to see what's here. I'm genuinely curious what this is going to look like. Okay, let's do a quick unit review. Let's just kind of go over every single unit that we had, just so we can all gawk and talk about this. I do want to see what this post-game hub looks like. Oh, wow. There's an arena, characters that you can kind of interact with, which I'm not sure what this is all gonna do. That's Xena. Oh, there's side stories. Interesting. Okay, let's do a character review real quick in case anyone wants to listen to my character review, and so it'll be on the VOD. Okay, we'll just go in order. Lear. Obviously, he's your main protagonist. He's completely unchanged from the base game. He is basically a more or less 4 or 5 star character because he has the ability to get a metric ton of different skills, and he just has really high stats no matter what you do. And because he has the ability to S rank with or A rank with multiple characters, he is going to be a unkillable tank 99% of the time. He's very strong, one of the best characters you can get. He has a lot of potential. Especially, I guess in the post game you get to have him have all this stuff. So you give him like an E sub guard and a fire emblem, he's gonna be unkillable 90% of the time. He was hitting 90 crit like very consistently because of support bonuses. Easily 5-star character. Not even a joke. Havel, our tank, the greatest tank, the tank that lived. Havel maxed out basically every, like the 3 important stats of strength, skill, and speed. Somehow managed to not max out defense or HP. Havel is really durable and probably like one of the best characters we had this run. In fact, Havel's probably like an like a 5-star character because of how often we just had Havel tank everything. High speed on a general is crazy. The growths are really balanced, and it's not like the most exciting thing, but you can, as long as you feed like 1 or 2 stat potatoes, it very likely Havel is going to be like an all-star. Having access to Armored Blow makes you good offensive phase, and also Spectrum Stance keeps you good on the enemy phase. Heavy Strikes is kind of whatever, but for the most part, since a lot of the weapons that Havel's generally going to wield is heavy, early game, it's a lot stronger, but as you move to the later game, that ability starts to matter less and less, but early game, it's really good. So anyways, Havel, I think, is a kind of a 5-star character. Alright, The Opposer. The Opposer, probably I'd rate a 4-star. Actually, I don't want to just give him star ratings based on like how they were at the end. I think The Opposer is, yeah, you survived to the end. The Opposer comes with a unique weapon, the Needle, which is basically like a high crit, high damage weapon. Very, very good stuff. I think that weapon alone kind of pushes the Opposer to be a 4-star character because it's really strong when you do get them. The growth rates, like the main issue is that the Opposer is very much a player phase unit, and if the Opposer gets attacked, there's a very high chance Zia dies, so you have to be very, very careful. And that's like the low defenses and like basically no growth, but the maxing out strength, skill, speed, and is generally good and very strong on the offense, not so much on the enemy phase. You gotta be very careful not to let the enemy, yeah, very glass cannony. Ray is probably one of the better characters. I wouldn't say 5-star. I'd say 5-star only because she's my wife, but literally. But from a pure gameplay perspective, Ray's character is probably more like a 4.5, maybe 4-star. Actually, no, I forgot. No, she does have Nihil. Never mind. Ray is actually 5-star. Ray is the only character you get with Nihil, which is unironically a super powerful skill that just completely negates all of your opponent's skills. That's why she's able to crit certain enemies. No, Ray is actually insanely powerful. Her personal tome, Rabbit Song, is also a Nosferatu tome. So combined with Miracle, where you'll always survive a lethal attack if you're above 50 HP, means Ray has incredible durability. Not really defense or resistance, but assuming she can hit, her hit, she's gonna be hard to kill, and she's very good as a tank, although you get her a little late, which is a little unfortunate. Simon is so funny. The only thing Simon has is aptitude plus 20% growth to all growth rates, and then the generic stuff. Now this doesn't seem like a lot, but because of how high Simon's growths are, and I'm surprised he actually didn't cap out like resistance, Simon ends up being one of the hardcore snowball characters very quickly. I'd probably put him at like 4-star, because you do need to feed him some kills, but if you can get a few kills on him, and you do get him like super early, actually, because you get him super early, I'd probably rate it like 5, because with how fast his stats are going to grow, you can just kind of overrun and deal with a lot of fights without too much issue. We actually benched him a few chapters and he still came out like on top. Simon is just really, really good, especially with easy access to like the main supports of like Havel and Lear and a few other characters. Simon is just really easy to get going and snowball quickly. Darcy. You get Darcy a little later, I think mid-game. And Darcy is interesting. Darcy's main gimmick, I think, is the Great Shield effect, where there's a chance to just negate all damage. And as long as you can somehow feed Darcy more Dragon Shields and more defenses, Darcy is actually like ridiculously durable because of this. Max speed means you're not going to get doubled, and the high speed growth means you're basically not going to get doubled. High HP also means you can survive at least one missed hit. I'd probably rate Darcy at like a 4, I'd say. I wouldn't say anything like... I think 4 stars is probably good. The main issue is that defense growth is still really low, so you gotta feed either stat potatoes or you have to feed Darcy Dragon Shields to really make use of this. Because one thing I didn't realize about this is that Great Shield actually doesn't just negate physical attacks, it negates all attacks. This will negate magic attacks. And that was relevant a few times where Darcy just straight up shrugged off like a 30 damage, you know, Fenrir, which is insane, because this just happened to proc at the right time. Now, granted, you're probably going to cap it at about 25% of the time, but not being able to shrug off a hit that does that you don't dodge 1/4 of the time increases your survivability by a fairly decent margin, especially because high speed means your dodge is pretty high. So I'd say 4-star. Ivy, not even a question. This thing is a 5-star character. This character is busted beyond belief. I'm not even joking. This character probably single-handedly saved a lot, like made a lot of the fights stupid easy. Arani made an insane character with Ivy. Ivy is probably the best character, I think, that you can get in this ROM. Because you get her like mid-game, but she has ridiculously high defense and resistance, and a mirror stance and sturdy stance. So what does this mean? It means on enemy phase, she has +8 attack and +4 defense and +4 resistance. And you're gonna cap out her defense and resistance because they're at like stupidly high growth of 85. You will... This character is nuts. And also, Silent Pride makes it harder to kill her as well. So, realistically, you're a player of enemy phase, you can just put her in the middle of a blob of enemies and they will find it very hard to kill her. If you have her with support characters behind her, she is nigh unkillable. She's probably like the best character in the ROM that was created. She's incredibly busted. And you can just kind of... Like, obviously on player phase, she's not the best, which would probably maybe not the bestest, but as far as I can tell for me and my playstyle, she's the best character. Peltiu is a crit monster, and her entire gimmick is that she wants to get crits. Like, the lower her HP, the higher her crit rate, which is really good. If you can get her to below 25% HP, her crit rate shoots to like 55 base, or 65 base, and that's not including skill, tome, or whatnot. I think it's a very high risk, high reward character. She has an incredibly high resistance, so she can kind of tank just about any magic attack that's thrown at her. But obviously her defense and HP are a little lower than you'd like, so if you can kind of get her to a decent point where she's not going to get crit, and if you do get her low enough and you're playing enemy phase, or you're playing a player phase centric style, you can just rip and tear, but you got to get her low enough. She still has a lot of high magic though, so she's able to at least blast enemies with, you know, thunder or a Fimbulvitter, and she'll be fine. But I probably rate her at like 3 stars, primarily because it's a very high risk, high reward playstyle. But if you pull it off, it works really good. She is very strong. She did max out skill and magic in this run as well as resistance. That's why she was able to be very, very tanky. I think her resistance base was really high. Vermeil. We used Vermeil a few times. We didn't get a chance to use her that much, unfortunately. Vermeil's unique gimmick is that she has Corona and she has Critical Force, which means there's a very high chance that she just ignores enemy resistances, and her base crit is actually a lot higher than normal. So even with a Shine Tome, her crit's 40%. That's insanely high. So Vermeil gets a chance to be very, very powerful. However, her bases are kind of like her base HP and her HP growth is basically non-existent. This character is going to basically need a lot of HP fixing, and otherwise she is going to die very, very quickly. Because of that, I can't give her more than 3 stars. She is so dang squishy, and I had to be very careful using her every single time. Look at it, level 15, 34 max HP. She is made of glass bones and paper skin. But other than that, if you can player phase her, she's very strong. She would probably cap out magic and speed if I got her to 20. Lucina is a very weird character. So Lucina was a kind of a request by Garm. So I ended up building Lucina for Garm so that, you know, in honor of the dead or the deceased VTuber. And Lucina's kit is unique in the sense that she does have dark magic. She's a paladin with access to black magic, or Zwinderhell, which gives you access to dark magic, and a skill called black magic, which is a % chance to inflict a random status. It's very RNG, but because her skill is so high, you'll basically proc it every other combat, which means you could apply sleep or stone or poison, and it can get very, very powerful because of that. Now, using dark magic with Zwinderhell is not that relevant, but at least it gives her an option to use dark magic if you need a hit and resistance instead of defense. But regardless, she does have fairly decent growth rates. It's very average across the board, but she's quite strong. If she hit, like, if we got her to 20, she'd probably nearly cap out HP and cap out a lot of her stats, and she is quite strong. Probably give, like, but early game, it's really hard to use her, especially because when you get her, she's a little behind the curve. So you have to put some time or feed her enough stat potatoes to not worry. So I'd probably give her like a 3.5 star, maybe 4. I'd say 3.5, realistically. 3 stars. 3 stars, we'll say 3 stars. Tabitha. That's not even a question. It's like a 5-star character. She's your one dancer, and she has remove, so luck percent, which is she's stupid high luck anyways, to just get another action. Insanely powerful to have a dancer that can dance multiple times in a turn at, you know, percentage chance. So very, very nutty. 5 stars. Milky Blade. This is probably one of the weirdest characters to rate. Milky Blade is interesting. So Milky Blade's whole gimmick is that she wants to proc assassinate or lethality every time. Lethality is a skill divided by 2. So at max skill, you're looking at about 15%. But she has Rightful King, which adds 10%, and then she has Rightful God, which adds another 30%. So you're looking at plus 40, plus 15. So 55% chance on every combat to just instantly kill an enemy, and if she is below 50% HP, you add another 30%, put it at 85%. This is completely insane. Her bases were really good, and she is going to basically proc it almost every single combat, especially if you give her a brave weapon. This character's nuts. And I'm not gonna lie, I probably used her far too much, especially like towards the end when I was getting lazy to cheese the game. I don't want to give too many 5 stars, but this character is probably like a 5, maybe 4, maybe bordering on 5. Kind of hard to tell because it's so easy to just pivot to her to deal with a lot of your issues. She does trivialize a lot of fights if you are lazy and you don't want to think. Hello, Immortal. We're doing the unit review. We finished the ROM. So we're just reviewing every unit now. So yeah, I'd probably say Milky's like a 4 or 5. I'm probably leaning on 5 just because of how busted this combo is, because she is kind of hard to kill. Logger. Which one is your character? Which one is your character? Oh no, I've not done yours yet. No. All right, Logger is Kahila's character. This character is probably, I'd say Logger's probably like a 3-star. Like realistically, based on the growth rates and stats, Logger's very much a 3-star. And the only saving grace that Logger had is that you get Logger really early, and with access to Armored Blow as well, makes Logger surprisingly good on player face to just kind of get through a lot of the early engagements. But Logger unfortunately does begin to fall off as you approach the end game. Now that said, Logger is still really strong because of access to all these different, you know, bonds. Supports are really good, and that's kind of what kept Logger going. But, you know, maxing speed and maxing strength is really good, and obviously high HP and fairly decent defenses means that Logger is not going to fall off that hard, but Logger does ultimately fall off, I think. I'd probably rate 3 stars, but the early access to Armored Blow means you can kind of punch through a lot of the, you know, heavy physical engagements that you run into early game. All right, Gibora. Okay, here's the thing. I did not use your character to its fullest, and it was very awkward to use your character because I did not level you up early. I think you are probably a... Let me drink my water. I think because of sheer utility, you're probably technically a 5-star character, if not 4-star, if not 5. I'm probably leaning more on 4. you're like the only thief you get early game, because this ROM was actually not designed with thieves in mind, and I realized that a little later. And because of that, you actually have the unique ability to steal enemy elixirs and whatnot, which can actually be very, very relevant. You also have access to Duelist Blow, which means you're kind of hard to hit early game as well. You don't do that much damage. I think if you hit level 20 with enough training, you'll probably be like a really deadly assassin, but you'd still be very fragile with your basically non-existent defense resistance and HP growth. But the main thing that's really relevant is not even despoil, it's more you have the bonus vision range of being a thief. And if you give a torch, that means you can kind of cheese through all the Fog of War maps, of which I believe there's 2 or 3 of them. So by sheer utility alone, you're like a 4-star at the minimum. Yeah. But I did not end up using you in combat most of the time. I just kind of kept you around as like a vision bot, because you give a torch to a thief and you can just see the whole map essentially. So I'd say about 4 stars. Samsung is so weird. I'd say Samsung's kind of a 3-star. Samsung's kind of like a whatever unit. Very much like a tanky. You can just kind of plop this unit in anywhere and they'll do fine. Their growths are kind of all over the place, but generally fine. They had decent bases, which made them really good. The one thing that's super relevant is that their base HP is crazy high, and they happen to have Axe Breaker. You don't run into too many axes later in the game, but because of Axe Breaker, Samsung is very, very nutty and able to kind of handle a lot of things that might be difficult to deal with. Axe Breaker plus Lance Fair means you are basically an anti-axe unit. Crazy stuff. I think Samsung is probably like a 3 bordering on 4. Samsung is very much just like, it is a good unit in a vacuum, but that's about it. There's nothing super exciting about Samsung at all. Very good tank. Kyomi. Oh boy, Kyomi is interesting. Kyomi got cursed with not having very good bases and needing a bunch of stat potatoes to become relevant. And late game, I think it still wasn't enough to really make her as strong as she could be, because we didn't put enough resources into her, because she's only like level 11. But if she had hit 20, I think she could have gone kind of nuts. Her special personal ability is Tome Range +1. She is the only mage that can attack from range 3, which is insanely powerful. On top of being combined with Opportunist, which means Opportunist Tome Range means she has a +4 on all attacks if she's attacking from max range. So she is quite strong. It's actually very unique of a build, especially on a mounted unit. Obviously, she's a bit of a glass cannon, gotta keep her away, but I like the concept of a lot. I think she just didn't get a chance, and her bases were just really bad. I'd probably give her 3 stars. Perfectly serviceable, just didn't get a chance to really shine. Gina's weird. I don't know how to describe this character. I want to give this character like a 2-star, because I didn't really use her very much, and I just did not understand how to use this character properly. So Gina is odd. Gina is a Falco Knight with very little HP. The main gimmick is that it has Assassinate. When you initiate combat, you always double, and you have +2 damage. Especially if you have a chance to gain a double attack with Adept, and you also have Fortress Defense, which increases your defenses significantly, +5. At the cost of dealing less damage, and you have Darting Blow and Warding Blow. So I really don't know how to think about this character. I just did not really understand how to use Gina at all. She is a Falco Knight with very little HP, but has generally super high defense, which I think was the gimmick of the character. But I think that gimmick wasn't going to save her, because she's not doing that much damage in the first place. So I don't know, I have to give Gina like a 2-star. I just did not really figure out how to use this character. But we did use her a few times, and she did okay. Emmett Yan. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Emmett Yan got screwed hard. I didn't use Emmett Yan very much early, and Emmett Yan had a few interesting gimmicks that just didn't get used. The main gimmick that Emmett Yan has, 1 is Vantage, 2 Lock Touch, and 3 Devil's Luck. This is probably like the biggest gimmick here, where you can force your opponent to just get hit with a Devil Axe effect, which is nuts. But unfortunately, if you don't get the Devil's Luck, Emmett Yan's going to die, because he's incredibly squishy. Low HP, low defense, low resistance. Emmett Yan is a super hard to use character, I think, especially early game when you get him, and his bases were just really bad. I think this one really needs like a bunch of stat potatoes, or you give him like the Fire Emblem or some other stat boons. I think Emmett Yan's got to be like a 2-star, unfortunately. I could not really make use of him. And I think it's hard to use unless you've put a lot of effort into him. the main gimmick was the luck stat. It might have been. I did see the luck stat growth being stupidly high. It's like, what, 90? Yeah. Alright, who's next? Brunya! Oh my lord, this character is so weird. Brunya is probably like a 3-star character. It's very interesting because she is a druid that has access to light magic, which is kind of funny. The funnier, her entire gimmick is that she uses Dead Eye, right? So she has essentially no skill and no skill growth, but with Dead Eye, her hit rate is doubled, which means even if she has low hit rate, without it, she's gonna hit hard no matter what. And she does have access to Nosferatu because she's a druid. However, for whatever reason, if you have too much hit rate, you kind of, I guess, overflow into 0 or like basically sub 100 hit rates, and it was really weird. And there's a very high chance that she's gonna die in enemy phase when you don't expect that. So I have to give Brunya like a 3-star. She's actually a lot of fun to use, and she's very tanky, but because of the player phase, enemy phase, like how I guess all the numbers interact, there was a lot of times on enemy phase where Brunya just could not hit an enemy because her hit rate overflowed into like 0, and then you'd have like a hit rate of like 10, which makes it really hard for her to, you know, sort of do what she needs to do. Like, unironically, you have to be careful not to feed her skill boons, or else she's just not gonna hit anything. So because of that, I have to put her at like a 3. Otherwise, she's a fairly decent tank. Analea, the Dark Priest. Alana's unique character with a unique class. Special ability is Power Staff. Gain an action using a staff. This character is 5 stars, not even a question. Having a healer that can heal twice per turn is nuts. Her magic ability is kind of rough. Maybe it's 4-star. She is fairly squishy is the main problem, but she has incredibly high magic. The main benefit of this is that you can heal and then attack, or you can heal and heal again. There's a lot of ways you can kind of make use of this, but again, 2 actions per turn is incredibly busted. And there's a reason why that skill costs like, what, 10 or 12 stat points. Also has easy access to a ton of supports, so very hard to kill unless you're like me and you accidentally put her in front of an enemy with a silver weapon, and then she explodes into a million tiny pieces. So we did lose Analea, but again, very powerful if you can keep her alive. Like, I'm not joking, she is like the earliest healer you do get, by the way. So she does come pre-promoted, FYI, so she does need a bunch of stat boons to so well, yeah, we'll drop her to 4-star. She needs her bases are really bad, and you have to feed her stat potatoes so that she's not like super useless, unfortunately. So yeah, I'd probably rank her at like a 3-star, or sorry, 4-star, and the main thing that's keeping her up is the power staff. How many more characters do I have to go through? Oh my god, we're like halfway through. All right, Yawahar. I want to like Yawahar. This character is QQ's. Unfortunately, this character is just, the bases are so bad on this character, I could not salvage it. I think you'd have to feed this character a lot of stat potatoes to be somewhat relevant. You'd probably need at least 5 at this point, at the time you recruit him, to be a little useful. His main gimmick is that he has access to Luna and Soul, but these cannot trigger together. They will always trigger separately. I don't know which one takes precedence, but I mean, his bases are kind of rough. He does have decent HP, and his defense growth is pretty high, but 6 resistance at this point of the game with that much HP, you're gonna die fairly quickly. I cannot give Yawahar more than like a 2-star, unfortunately. I'm trying to think of like future potential, but Yawahar is just like super awkward and just very prone to dying, I think. He is kind of neat that he has access to both axes and swords, or lances, but I just don't think it's really worth using Yawahar most of the time. But there's potential. It's just really hard to get to that, you know, that level where you want to use him and be comfortable using him. I'm not even gonna Yubel. Yubel is a secret bonus character. He's basically crack cocaine. If you need a character to win you the run, just use Yubel. So I'm not gonna rate him. He's obviously 5 out of 5, but he's not like, he's a secret character technically. Zoingo. Okay. Zoingo's character is built as a tank. A flying tank with high resistance and defense, right? And also a bit of support with having access to like rally defense, and rally defense actually is super relevant like early game when you do have Zoingo, and it's actually not that bad. Also keeping other allies alive, very much a support character. The problem with Zoingo's hit rate is going to be abysmal, and you have to, I did feed Zoingo here a bunch of stat potatoes to kind of keep Zoingo up and running. I'd probably rate Zoingo 3 stars, primarily because he is a really good flyer, but his combat potential is kind of non-existent. You're only going to hit like once per turn. Towards the end game, you're absolutely going to get doubled, probably. And the main saving grace is that Zoin goes ridiculously tanky for the point in the game where you have him. Also, he's like one of the few flyers that we do have in the run, so not a bad character at all. Pretty good, all things considered, but 3 stars at most, because that skill and speed is gonna get you killed. Arani. We didn't use Arani too much because Arani had a second character in Ivy, and we use... no, stat potatoes are unique to this game. They're called bond essences, and they give +1 to all your stats. So for this ROM hack specifically, stat potatoes are bond essences. Arani is unique. Arani's got Ether and Rightful God, which means there's a skill divided by 2, which at max is 30 divided by 2, so 15 plus 30. So 45% chance to trigger Ether is crazy good, but Arani's bases and defenses are super low, that to the point where Arani's going to be unlikely to make use of the Ether healing too often, because you don't want to put Arani in danger most of the time anyways. The high HP growth is at least somewhat useful, which is great. Luck growth is pretty good as well. I'd probably just rate Arani at a 3-star. The Ether Rightful God combo is, I think I've seen that in a lot of PMEs, and it's not a bad combo, but it really depends on the character. I think Arani's just a little too squishy to maybe make use of it all the time, unless you can make sure Arani's only getting tagged by 1 character at a time. Otherwise, I'd probably rate a 3-star. We haven't had like a 1-star character this run so far, I think. Okay, Roxana's a little unfortunate. Roxana died after 1 combat. Her entire shtick is that she has Gamble, where you can attack with half hit but double crit, but you combine it with Deadeye to just to double your hit rate automatically no matter what. So because of this, it kind of negates the Gamble effect. It's cute to double your crit. Like if you give her, hold on, like if you give Roxana a Killing Edge, one of these goobers has to have a Killing Edge, so I can just kind of borrow temporarily. If you give Roxana a Killing Edge, her crit is 60, and if you double it to 120, she's guaranteed to crit no matter what, especially with that ridiculously high crit rate of 244. You divide that by 2, you're at 120, and then you just add the opponent's dodge. So you're bound to hit with an almost guaranteed crit every time. Is it worth it? Probably not. Her bases are kind of whatever, and her growths for strength are not very good either, so it's very hard to make use of a lot of her stuff. I wouldn't... It's very much a weird character to use. I'd probably just rank her at like a 15, like a 2-star. She died instantly. I don't want to say she's 1-star, but she's kind of teetering on there. She's very hard to use, and I probably wouldn't use her most of the time. It's a fun gimmick, but that's what it is. It's a gimmick. Zikmund, which is Checkball's other character. What do I think about Zikmund? I mean, his entire shtick has got Killing Machine, so his crit rate's just straight up doubled, and is in a Halberdier, so he does have Dragon Rage. So with Killer Lance, he's guaranteed to crit every single time. I think guaranteed crit is crazy, but when you get to the final map and a lot of the bosses are immune to crits, it kind of stops being useful. But other than that, it's generally good. Bases are kind of whatever, but the low speed is going to kind of hurt you. But he's also only level 4 at this point in the game. If you give it enough love and care, he'll become pretty strong. His growths aren't actually that bad. They're actually fairly solid aside from HP. I'd probably just give him a 3-star. The super guaranteed crit is fine, but that's all he really does, and you need to make sure that strength is capped out, and you need to make sure you can actually hit the target, so you gotta max that skill out no matter what anyways, which might be a little difficult with a 40% growth rate. So, probably 3 stars. Garm! Okay, so Garm, unfortunately, is a character that died relatively quickly and did not get a chance to shine. Garm's unique skills are More or Less and Dazzle, which is cute because essentially means with Garm at max speed and with More or Less, you can probably outspeed everything in the game as long as Garm's holding 3 or less items, which may or may not be relevant, but you have to just give Garm a single item. And then obviously Dazzle means your opponent can't counterattack. So this realistically means with the right loadout, Garm can attack 4 times without getting countered once if you give Garm a Brave Weapon. Unfortunately, Garm's resistance is non-existent. Garm will explode to any magical unit because a lot of the late game magic units are popping out like 50 damage, and that will kill Garm, and it's super hard to fix this resistance without enough, and there's not enough stat boosters to fix this, like, unironically. It's super hard to use Garm. I'd probably rank Garm, like, from a pure gameplay perspective at, like, maybe 2 stars. It's a cute gimmick. Actually, I'd probably put it, like, 3. I guess the Dazzle combo is really good, because you can walk up to a mage unit and kill them without them being able to counter, which is actually really powerful. because again, magic is, you know, 1 and 2 range, but if you can dazzle them and they can't counterattack, you can probably kill them. But you would need either a silver sword or a brave sword or a killing edge and hope you get lucky. But generally, I think it's fine. But it's really hard to use. I'd probably put like 2 or 3 stars for Garm here. Grace. This is Grimo's character, and this is the only Myrmidon we did not promote. It is a very weird supporting character with a lot of self-healing with Bond, Renewal, Voice of Peace, and also some Dragon Fang shenanigans for extra damage. Unfortunately, this character did not get a chance to shine at all. The bases were just... The base HP and resistance were just so atrocious that it's just very hard to keep Grace alive. And I think even promoting Grace would be super risky and maybe not worth it. Definitely would max out speed and skill most likely, so that'd be generally fine. But again, it's just really hard to use. I'd probably put Grace at probably a 2-star because it's probably like it's a really weird setup for like a Myrmidon, though it is very nice for having support. Clara unfortunately died tragically at the young level of 15. I think Clara, had she survived, would probably be like a 3 or 4-star character. She's like the earliest flyer you get access to, and on top of that, she does have access to expertise, which reduces the amount of damage she takes from critical hits. So if she does get crit, she's not going to die instantly, right? There's a very high chance she survives, especially with a fairly decent defense and HP growth. Means that she does have fairly decent durability. Astra's also kind of cute too, because you're going to proc it a decent amount of times to get even more hits in, and a high strength growth means that she's going to be one of the few Pegasus characters to actually, you know, go whole hog and smash faces in. Tragically, she did pass before we were able to make use of her. Umi. Umi's character is a mistake on my end for how I set up Umi's character. Unfortunately, the way I had set it up in the game, Umi did not get a chance to shine, and the bases are just really bad for a pre-promoted unit. And even with all this like 18 speed, it can't even be made use of due to having Wary Fighter, where can't double but cannot be doubled. Also, that really bad defense growth is so lethal at only 10. Umi is a mage tank with that 80 resistance growth. Umi will probably near max it if you give an opportunity, but it is hard to use Umi, especially with that really low skill base. And yeah, with that low skill base, it's really hard. The speed doesn't matter, and luck is kind of whatever. So I probably have to rate Umi's character probably like a 2. And I think a lot of that's my own fault for how I set up Umi's character in the ROM. So don't blame Umi, blame me. I probably put it like 2 stars, unfortunately. Yeah, I definitely would have needed to give Umi like another weapon. Umi's really good for early game because the Sharp Claw rips and tears through everything. But keep in mind, that's about it. It's really good early, but falls off relatively quickly. Mylene is your final flyer of the run, I think. She's interesting. Her unique skill is Dazzle, same thing that Garm had. Opponents can't counterattack, and also Opportunist, where +4 damage opponent can't counter. So basically, on player phase, she will always have +4 damage. Pretty solid option, and her bases are actually really good or it's actually pretty decent for what you get her at. I think she had a lot of potential, but she just kind of bit the dust a little too early. Probably would put her at 3 stars, because unfortunately, a lot of these don't really matter, because you don't really need Warding Blow if you're on the offensive. Especially with Dazzle, but hey, you know, +4 damage is pretty solid, and decent skill, speed, basically average girls probably get near max out speed. HP needs a little bit of help, but her defense, she is a little bit of a glass cannon, but you will have a lot of damage, especially if you can max out her strength. So probably put her at like 3. Next, Helena. We'd barely used her. I don't know why her cons is -5. Your Angry Berserker basically smashes face in. For some reason, also has Despoil and Frenzy. Lower HP she gets, the stronger she gets. Typical. It's literally your typical Berserker thing. The only weird thing is that she has like she has really bad strength base and really bad HP base and really bad defenses. She's super hard to use, I think. If she had a lot more HP, this would be a lot more bearable, but because she doesn't, this is... I don't want to say unusable, but really hard to use. I'd probably put her at like 2 stars. For a Berserker character, this is really hard to use. I'm almost leaning towards 1 star. It's just so hard to use her. I wanted to, but I just couldn't figure out how to use her properly. Sonic the Hedgehog is one of the late game joiners and comes in with really high bases and level 16 max HP, max defense, max strength, really high resistance, skill, and speed. Like you don't even need those to grow anymore, and comes with armor march. You have like 1 other armor unit. It's just Havel. But if you want to give Havel +2 movement, this is a really good option. Or yeah, if you want to give like +2 movement to Havel, this is a really good option. The rest of it's kind of whatever. Charge is actually a lot of fun too, because, you know, more tiles move, more damage. But again, I'd say a solid 4-star. Not an all-star, but a very solid character. Okay, and that's all the characters we've reviewed. I've done a quick review of every single character we had in this run. Who was your favorite that we had in our magical adventure? I think my favorite character is probably Ivy. I think Ivy was probably the best, funniest tank that we had. Havel's probably a close second. And obviously, I think Ray and Analea were probably follow-ups. I think Milky Blade's probably the most unique gimmick character that worked really well. So that was fun too. Let's see what else is here. What's this postmap? Hi, that's Anna. Everything must go. You're no ordinary customer. I think you'll like what I have in store for you. I've been working on this service for a while. The delightful lasting continuum. Okay, so it seems like this is a post-game hub. The DLC contains a bunch of activities you can try, hint, feature. Okay, so basically, if you've completed the ROM, you can do all sorts of wacky activities here. Let's see. New playable stories and read certain tales of characters past. Okay, here we go. So I think these are like just bonus maps that you can kind of, okay, so yeah, you can like learn about the different characters. Oh, okay, and then you can grind this map too for some reason. So it's kind of a unique concept, like a post-game hub where you kind of like walk around and explore and do things. Like if you want to explore the story of Mao, or you want to explore the story of Seiden and Oichi, or you want to explore the story of Kalia and her upbringing. I think this is, I don't remember who this character is, but some interest. Oh wait, right, this is the crazy witch lady, right? And you can probably see how she became evil and became a crazy lady. Actually, I kind of want to see what's going on over there. Actually, I want to see what's in the shops too. What's in the shops? Here we go. You can buy every weapon you want. Okay, cool. Let's go take a look at the vendor. And you can buy every tome you want. And also other things. That's fun too. There's no replaying maps. Let's go talk to this. I kind of want to see what this looks like. Put it on the second save. Okay, so do we actually... I'm just gonna skip real fast, or is it just... Oh, okay. It's literally just story. There's no actual gameplay. It's just, here's more dialogue. Anyways, that's the end of the run. We've completed Fire Emblem Sealed Hope. I think this run took far too long. It's 12 episodes in. I'm at this point just glad that we're done. There's nothing wrong with the ROM. It's very cheesy in a lot of the dialogue, and I think a lot of the names were a little awkward, like really awkward to read, which is, I mean, that's what are you gonna do, right? Overall, I thought it was fine. I thought the ROM was fine. I don't have any complaints too much. The balance was a little all over the place, but what are you gonna do? So, overall, I think it was fine. I think it was perfectly fine. I would recommend giving it a shot if you're in the mood to play it. Again, this ROM is called Sealed Hope, which I'm gonna post on the chat real quick so you can kind of look at it if you want, and then maybe give it a look if you're interested. That's the end of it. That's the end of Fire Emblem PME. I'm free. We can finally use this day for other things. What time is it? I think I'll save Iron Nest for another day. I am feeling a little tired because I've been like up around all day and I had to go see a doctor and everything for all sorts of other shenanigans. So I'm not gonna give the ROM hack a rating because obviously we're playing a heavily bastardized version of the ROM, but overall I think for what the ROM hacker was trying to do, they did a pretty decent job. Why are we throwing things at me? I haven't done anything wrong. Why are we throwing things at me? I have done nothing wrong to deserve such abuse. Why are we throwing things? I do want to see something. I think there's a... I'm gonna check something here. Is this a secret shop? Ah, here you go. You can buy all your killer and brave weapons here too if you really want. Oh, wait. There's a bunch of weapons we missed. Wait, hold on. There's a bunch of weapons we missed here. You can buy extra copies. Orland's Tome, which was Mao's Tome. Demon's Trade. A sword that disables the weapons triangle forces a fair duel. You can buy spare fire emblems, Avicii essences, and you can buy an extra hope. Okay, so I guess, yeah, you're already at the end of the game if you really wanted. Yeah, so we missed the patron, and we missed the demon's trade. That's a little unfortunate. I do heavily mod stuff, that's true. I'm trying to think like what we'll do. So my guess is that we'll do Zomboid tomorrow, and that'll be a fun, exciting adventure because I haven't played Zomboid in like a hot minute, and I need to go over the mods that I have installed and make sure the ones I want to play with are going to be active and not going to break the game in half. And then we'll probably do I'm not going to do Just Run right now. We might do it next week. I'm a little tired today just because I've been like out and about all day, so I kind of want to take a bit of a rest. I'm not trying to make ending stream after 3 hours a norm. I'm just saying that it's just been a bit of a long week, and then all that. It's probably going to be an early end today, but tomorrow we'll do a full 4 hours of Zomboid. So I hope you're excited for zombie smashing and watching me attempt to fight my way through Project Zomboid, because it's going to be a mess. It'll be a wonderful, glorious mess. All right, let's see. Who am I raiding into today? I can't believe we're hosting Resident Sleeper. All right. Let's try. Let's see. Okay, I know who we'll raid into. We'll raid into my friend Maki, who is playing some Final Fantasy VII, the original Final Fantasy VII. So say hi to her. Hopefully she's having a good old time with that. Get the ladder mods. I'll look for the ladder mod. Yeah, that sounds somewhat important. All right, comrades, thank you for joining on Fire Emblem. We did it. We completed another PME, another successful PME completed, and we can finally rest and not play Fire Emblem for quite some time, because these PMEs take far too much effort to set up, and I think the return on effort is probably not worth it 90% of the time. I'm not a very funny PME player, but I hope at least all of you enjoyed watching the wacky tacky adventure of our OCs being sent into the meat grinder. All right, comrades, good night and enjoy your evening. I shall go rest now and do other things. Goodbye.